stuff today, Fraser, that we may never ever see again.
I'm Jordan Ricardo.
I'm Ben Aquinski.
I'm Ryan Chafee.
And you're watching Friday Night Baseball.
Welcome to Friday Night Baseball.
I'm Mikey Reynolds, and welcome to Friday Night Baseball.
Well, g'day baseball fans, and welcome down under to Adelaide's Active Display Stadium for the series of the season, live on Friday Night Baseball. Tonight, with top spot in the Southwest Division and the #1 seed up for grabs, it's the two best teams in the Australian Baseball League. The alcohol Think Again Perth Heat and the hometown Adelaide Giants. My name's Phil Hurd, and thanks so much for joining us tonight for what promises to be an epic series of Australian baseball. Joining me in the expert's role, a man who's played plenty of those, mainly in Giants colours, and many against the pride of Perth. Welcome back, Scott Pratt.
Thanks, Phil. Great to be back here, and what a game this stands to be. With Perth Heat with the ERAs of under 3, 1.8 is their ERA against Adelaide. So 1v2 in the ERAs, and they're hitting Perth's offense just slightly better than Adelaide Giants. So we're in for a crackerjack game here tonight.
Well, there is so much to cover tonight as we quickly look at the weather forecast. 17 degrees Celsius, finally some cool weather and a little bit of rain in the area, but we don't think it's going to cause an issue. Joining me as well, there's so much to cover tonight. We have two experts on board. Back, hat trick, Rob Ushie. Welcome back, Rob.
Thanks, Phil. Great to have Scott Joyce with another hat trick. That's 3. There's 2 the other day in Big Bash. I get another one?
Well, it is a huge night. We need two expert commentators because we've got the two top teams in the league. There is so much to play for. When you look at the standings as they come up now, there they are in the Southwest. What a logjam between the Giants, the Heat, and the Melbourne Aces.
Yeah, certainly the Southwest Division is going to be the strong division right now. You've got Melbourne looking to have a good week with Geelong this week, and then the battles at the top right now between Adelaide and Perth. This is going to be an exciting weekend.
Certainly is, and the head-to-head's going to be the key here. So Adelaide really need to make sure they stay ahead of Perth. But what a game this is going to be. Low-scoring affair, and we're going to be mindful of that as we go into this game. And defence is going to be the key, and trying to get those runs across the board.
Well, tonight it is about more than just a game. We know around the entire country that the place has just been devastated with bushfires from suburban Perth to the Nullarbor, Kangaroo Island, Victoria, New South Wales and up the eastern coast. Tonight, the Giants, we're supporting the CFS Foundation, which supports volunteer firefighters. $1 from everyone who comes through the gate. During Series 8, the 4 games, we'll donate $1. There's donation tins located around the ballpark for those of you who are going to come down. And also go to AdelaideGiants.com.au. There's some very rare, unique, money can't buy, except for this weekend, occasions, a chance to spend an hour with some hitters, some pitchers and some great souvenir items. So it's been a shocking week. Let's make it a good one in terms of raising some money. Well, the Friday Night Baseball crew have been busy. Last time we were at home against the Auckland Tuatara, they went behind the scenes and decided to find out a day in the life of manager Chris Tank Adamson.
You got a few runs in here today?
Yeah, I'm thinking 11.
Double digits?
Early work starts about 4 hours before the game for the guys. I try and touch base with everyone at least once, before the game starts.
So if you need to shake, all right, yeah.
From there, it's just trying to get the individuals as prepared as possible, and I like to say, get them feeling sexy.
Attaboy, big cat. Attaboy. Good. Go get him, Mikey. Attaboy, you good?
We might chat for a minute or two as a group, but understanding that there's various elements to the game that are going to give us a chance of success. So, we'll send a message to the pitchers, whether it be through me or Josh Spence, our pitching coach, and same with the hitters. But for the most part, I think we get the most bang for our buck in individual chats.
That's when his feet stopped a little bit too early. So that's where almost like if we create some angle, like imagine that there's that cone there, so you might take like a negative step so you can still... Yeah.
I firmly believe that players and people don't really care about how much you know until they know how much you care. For me, relationships are number one, because we've got, players on our team that are from all different backgrounds and at different stages of their career. So I know a little bit about what they're going through.
I want you to be honest as well. Like if you say you're feeling good or shit, let me know. All right.
If I can just get on the same page as them as to what they're looking to get out of it, I think that's really big. And then hopefully that trust then, transfers onto the field.
Yeah, you go on and whack it, Curdy.
Yeah, just after the first at that, I thought everything was in, so I then cheated. Just got one that just
Get
got
it.
away.
You're quick enough to get to the one in, man.
Yeah.
Do you hit that ball good? Enough?
If there's been a time that it hasn't gone to plan, then we'll chat about it, but not so much from a rah-rah perspective. It's just what are the teaching points from that, and what can we take out of that bit of adversity to hopefully move forward and continue to progress.
Getting a third right there, it's kind of like you're going to score on a base hit anyway, and particularly with Whitey.
Baseball's a very humbling game, and it reminds me every single day that there's a lot of stuff we don't know, so it's just great opportunities to learn every single day.
And welcome back. You can see the cloud cover. Thankfully, that's cloud, not smoke. Now, we're all very grateful for that. A nice, cool evening here in Adelaide. One for the hoodies, but certainly we're going to get the game underway. And Rob, this is how the Perth Heat are looking tonight.
Tonight, Tim Kenley, center fielder, is going to lead off, followed by MLB veteran Pete Cosma, shortstop. Jordan Gazar, power-hitting right fielder, will be in the 3-hole. The RBI machine, Robbie Glendenning, just keeps driving him in. Second baseman tonight. Nico Halzer, human high right field. In left field, Ulrich Bajarski, Kaleo Johnson, Roberto Alvarez, the 8-hole, and Jess Williams rounds it up in the bottom 9. Look at them defensively there. Holzheiser in left field. We'll probably see a play or two tonight out of him. Kennelly in center, Gazar in right. Williams at third, Cosma at short, Glendenning second, Johnson the first baseman, Alvarez behind the plate with the tools of ignorance, and Dylan Dunsworth looking to make a new Perth record.
I'll ask about the tools of ignorance later. Scott, the Giants lineup.
Yes, leading off Curtis Mead. We welcome Jeremy Hazelbaker in at second hitter. Mikey Reynolds in third. The clean-up number 1 hitter for the Adelaide Giants, Aaron Whitefield. Jordan McArdle, the DH. Eric Peterson at second base. Mitchell Edwards hitting in the 7-hole, Rickson Wingrove 8-hole, and Cole Stobie in the 9-hole. And at left field we welcome Hazel Baker, Whitefield at centre field, Stobie at right. Over in the hot corner, Curtis Mead, Reynolds at short, Peterson at second, and Wingrove at first. Behind the dish is Mitch Edwards, and we welcome Jose Traveras, AAA player from Philadelphia Phillies.
You need to be a AAA player, Rob, because Dylan Unsworth is in town. The game 1 starter for the Perth Heat. He has been lights out, looking to set a club record for quality starts this season.
Yeah, 7 starts, 7 quality starts, averages 7 innings. The Giants have their work cut out for them tonight in the first game of a big series.
They certainly do, and you can look at the battle of the AAA guys as we welcome Jose Traveras. So I don't think we're going to see many runs scored tonight. I think it's going to be a game of defence and a game of execution. Get them over, move them and score them. And an interesting stat, just to throw at you, is Whitefield's stolen 20 bases. Perth Heat have stolen 26 as a total. Adelaide as a total have stolen 38. So Whitefield, the base stealing machine, he's going to be vital for this team.
And if you divided it up per game, because don't forget the Giants have played 4 less games.
That's right.
He's not that far behind the entirety of the Heat lineup. So we're going to see Dylan, and that's going to be something to watch. We've got the 2 managers, of course. Tank Adamson played for Brooke Knight. Knight spent some time here with the Bite and an inaugural manager for the Heat. So once again, we've got a bit of a homecoming on the home plate. Seems to be a regular event these days. Rob, the weather conditions. It is cool. It's a strong breeze coming in off the Gulf from the southwest. And we also have a change in sort of the layout of the field. Death Valley has disappeared.
I know, it's disappointing. It looks like with the new revamped bullpen that the home team's going to have, you're on the screen, it's in the deep part, kind of in the center there. The field is now almost on line with the foul line. We see there, and it kind of juts out. See the fans. We got the Yak Ale bar section. It might be my new spot to go to. I wanted the burrito bowl. Maybe now it's the yak ale they'll set me up sometime. But the field is a little closed off down there. So a ball down the right field line, it's either going to be fair or foul by about a foot or two on that line.
Yeah, the reminds me of the Tokyo Dome and the danger seats where you get a helmet, a glove and a waiver form before they let you there. I'm not sure what the Giants have prepared for that. Weather conditions, I think everyone after some stinking hot weeks and lots of smoke would just enjoy a coolish night.
They certainly will, and good to have a bit of relief, but I think everyone will be chomping at the bit to get this game underway, and not having heat as a factor, I think that's a good thing for both teams. Although it'll be a little cool out there later in the game, so interesting to see how both teams settle into this.
A couple of big questions from last week. Of course, the Heat split the series with Brisbane, won the first two. The second game emphatically, and sort of left Brisbane back into the playoff picture with the last two wins. But Adelaide didn't play, had the entire week off. They had momentum, having won their last three series. I'll ask you first, Rob. The week off when you've got form, but playoffs on the horizon, good thing, bad thing?
I think the result of getting the split on the road, whether it be playing or getting it because of the rules of the league, is what the Giants would take. But I think the not playing is going to hurt. As we saw yesterday, Canberra pretty much laid an egg in their first game after the week off against Brisbane and lost by double digits. So Giants are going to have to come up with a little more energy and momentum in front of the home crowd today to not fall into the same trap.
Yeah, very good point. I managed to have a talk to Tank during the day, and he said that they got their pitchers all got their work in through the week. So actually he sees that as not a negative for him, is it got everyone some time in, got their work in, they got all their work done that they needed, all the pitches through, the hitters faced all their pitches, so they got some live at-bats. Sometimes playing that isn't as good, but it also is valuable where you can iron out a few kinks, especially when you've got new guys that have come into the club. It gives them a chance to settle in and find their feet as well. So let's see how that works for the Giants tonight.
I think you're absolutely right, Scotty, about the new players coming into the lineup. When you have four new players coming in, taking spot, you got a couple starting pitchers who are going to get their work in, but you do have Jeremy Hazelblaker starting in left field tonight. He's a former pro ball player, so he's going to slide in nicely. But it is a new team, it's a new environment, and getting yourself even accustomed in the dressing room is going to be that extra week is good for that part. But so is playing baseball,
You're
and
right,
everyone
you can't
wants
beat that,
missing games. No one wants that.
No, exactly.
Well, I guess the next 9 innings will tell the real tale of the tape. It is time for our national anthem tonight. It's going to be sung by Toby Hall as we see the last play introduced. That is Mr. Hazelbaker wearing 27 and the kids in green from the Woodville Senators who've had a training before. But the Giants have been introduced, the Heat are up, the Giants bench are up. It's time for our national anthem. Crowd building for a big night of the Australian Baseball League. A reminder that we're raising funds for the CFS Foundation that support local volunteer firefighters, and you can go online for the auction items at adelaidegiants.com.au. We've got one cheerio to the watch party over in Perth, hosted by legendary Heat commentator Paul Morgan at Varsity They're having the watch party, so I hope you're enjoying the game tonight. Enjoy the devil wing eating competition.
Oh.
Must get to one of those one day. Players, meet and greet, giveaways, prizes, and much more, so I hope you enjoy it. Heat fans at the Varsity Complex. Not too far away from the first pitch. And you can see there that is starting pitcher. First time we've seen him, Jose Treveras from the Dominican Republic. 4 changes to the Giants starting lineup. Tends to happen a fair bit across this time of year. Players that have to go back and get ready for their summer seasons in Asia or America. Tyler Beardsley, Daniel Rosopo and Jose Treveras, as we see, plus Jeremy Hazelbaker. We'll see Treveras and Hazelbaker tonight, Scott. Bringing in that number of new players all debuting at the one time, will it cause disruption? Does it add questions?
No, I don't think so. It is what it is. We know well and truly that players have to go back, and that's the nature of the competition. Pitches is not a major thing because they come and go. Pitches are in a world of their own, as we all know. So starting pitches isn't a major thing. Hazelbaker at left field could potentially be. But, these guys are professional baseballs. They come and go through competitions all the time.
And I guess, Rob, baseball stateside has players going up, players going down. Movement is just baseball.
Yeah, that's just baseball. The Giants, unfortunately, had to lose one of their star pitchers, Dustin Beggs. He had to go back. The Marlins have some plans for him, and they needed him back to be able to get his work in. Lucky enough, the connections they have with the Philadelphia Phillies to get a quality man who was on the 40-man roster last year.
It's a pretty handy pickup, isn't it?
Well, Jose Treveras' first opponent, an Australian baseball legend, Tim Kennelly. 33-year-old righty, averaging 267 so far. 5 from 15 last week against the Bandits. He swings into the second offering, heads that out to right towards Stobie, who comes in and collects that pretty easily. A nice, quick first out for Treveras to settle into it.
Yeah, so the mail on Treveras is he's got a fastball that's around 88, 91 miles an hour, a curveball with change-up and a slider, and his best pitch is that change-up. So we'll look to see that when he gets ahead of the count.
Oh, we saw him start there, 2 pitches, get himself his first out as a starting pitcher. That's the one you want. You got to get that first out, get yourself comfortable. Now he'll be ready to go. He's got that first one under his belt for his new team.
That's right.
So the top 5 hitters have played every game for the Heat. It is a settled, powerful, offensive lineup for the men from the West. This is Pete Cosmo, as you mentioned, plenty of Major League experience. Averaging 250 at the moment. 14 runs from his 28 hits, 5 from 16 last week.
We won't wake him up too much as uncharacteristic batting average for him.
Indeed, he's fouled the second pitch away. We're 1-1 with 1 out and no one on.
Cosma been one of the second year out here with Perth. He was here with them last year. Get a little more accumulated here. He'll get it yet. And there's
acclimatized.
Yeah, 1-1 pitch is going to miss inside. All behind 2-1. But a little bit of some former St. Louis Cardinals building in the ABL. Got Cosma here, Hazelbaker's with us, and Shane Robinson in center field for Melbourne. They all were together. He's going to drive that one foul over the burrito bowl.
Yeah, and they all go back and they spread the word.
And I think the other exciting thing is on the flip side with the juniors here in baseball in South Australia is they're seeing guys at a AAA Major League. They're getting to see where the ultimate is, and it's great for them, and even for the Australian guys playing there.
There's the first hit of the night. Cosma finds it right up the middle to wide field at centre, and with 1 out, the Heat have their first player on. So the Jose Treveras story, he's in the Philly system, 26-year-old from the Dominican Republic, a righty, signed as an international free agent in 2013. Over 6 years, he's played for 8. I'm just reading that. Yeah, 8 teams in the Phillies system, from rookies through to AAA, including the Dominican Summer and Winter Leagues. He's played a fair bit of baseball.
And that's what baseball is in North America at the professional level. There are 8 different teams to get before you're even a Major League Baseball player. He's gone through Dominican Winter Leagues, probably Venezuelan winter leagues, and then A ball, Class A ball, lower A ball, and Double A, and all the way to Triple A last year. So it is a road to get to, and young man's kind of going through it right now.
That's right. So for him to get the call up to come from Mexico over to Australia, not a big deal. Just take it on the chin and move through and look for another exciting opportunity for him.
Well, here's the danger man for the Heat, Jordan Cassar, who leads the Heat in average slugging, home runs, and also leads the ABL in on-base percentage, OPS and walks. So he has made a huge impact in the 3-hole, the righty for the Heat. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Make that 3-1, and he's got a chance to extend that ABL lead with walks.
Some interesting pitching there. Looks like he behind the count and went ahead with an off-speed again. Obviously mindful of making sure that they don't give him too much to hit.
That one, Cassar was about to send the bat to the dugout.
Painted that black on the outside edge.
And so now we've got our first full count. 1 out with 1 on. If you just joined us, we are at the top of the first, no scorers yet. And drop third strike. And we've got the out called.
Cosmo stealing on the play, so he's going to get a stolen base. Cassar with the strikeout on the play, and with the first base still technically being preoccupied with the runner there. It's an automatic out. We don't have to tag the runner or throw down to first. It's just an out because the base was already occupied.
Yeah, well,
I think the question is on a foul tip here. I think whether it was a foul tip or not is more the chat. You think it got a bit of wood there?
Well, that possibly is why Edwards misfielded it.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not sure.
It looks like it'll probably be the discussion, as we did see Adamson come out to talk to the home plate umpire first, and then Heat manager came down just maybe to get a little clarification on what was going on.
So being confirmed, not a foul, but a strikeout. That's a big second out, taking sacrifice out of play, but Cosmo's advanced. So the reason he gets that stolen base is because he took off before the pitch?
Correct, yes. He was running before the pitch happened, so he will get credit for a stolen base on the play.
So now it's Robbie Glendinning, who has 25 RBIs. Looking for number 26. Hits that one deep towards left centre. Where's that going to land? It is over the fence and a 2-run jack. Robbie Glendinning, his 6th home run, and they're yelling and screaming at the varsity bar in Perth because the Heat have an early 2-0 lead.
Robbie Glendinning, I called him the RBI machine in the intro. Tack on 2 more, up to 27. That one was gone right off the bat.
Yes, you could see as he's thrown that ball, it just has sat right in the wheelhouse. Just come across from the middle, inside, and left it up, and you leave it up on Glendinning and you are going to get hurt any day of the week.
You mentioned earlier, Scott, in the at-bat to Cassar, he was throwing lots of off-speed pitches. It wasn't really challenging, and Glendinning probably went up with that approach, saying he's going to see something a little off-speed first, and he was going to jump on it if he got it.
So Cassar has 7, Glendinning now 6 home runs, and now it's the Hulk, Nico Highsides. And every time I've watched the Perth Heat through the season, Paul Morgan and Simon Isons with the Perth Heat call, he's been doing something, either flying like Superman in left field, hitting home runs, or getting ejected. Whatever, he's into it in some way or capacity.
Means we're going to have to stick around. We're going to see something today from him then.
So right now it's a 1-1 count with 2 out. Heat are up 2-0 early days. Looks that one in for a ball. Gets ahead 2-1.
And just on Jose there, just doesn't look settled. Doesn't look like he's kicking the dirt. He's just not looking in a groove. Okay, he's just had a ball hit off him out of the park. So you're not happy with that. You've got to gain your composure. You've got to stay cool. And you can see here right now, there's some smoke coming out of those ears of his. He ain't a happy chappy on the hill. He's got to calm down, take control of the situation here.
Well, gets a little grounder, and this will be
He'll
a
be happy with
3-1
that.
put out. And
Get that
that'll
out
end
of
it
there.
for the first, but not before the Heat are on the board. 2-0, and usually the first mid-break of the first. Let's talk about the context of these two teams, and Well, Scotty, a history that goes back, Giants and Heat, to the very first game of the very first ABL.
Yes, a long history and always a tough one. Every time you play Perth, even to play Perth in Perth is tough. Back in the good old days, we had to leave at 7 a.m. on the red eye, and you'd get over there and you'd get there. So imagine by the time you get there, you can't even check into your hotel room. And so you just have to sit around, and the trip to Perth was always tough. And then very parochial fans, they would always pack it out. And you're always playing against quality players, you know, and the list of players that come out of that club and the calibre of them is, you were never going to have an easy game. So, it's been a long, challenging history for the Giants.
Suffice to say, even though Brisbane share 4 titles with Perth, that the Heat would be the most successful club. They've been in the playoffs 7 out of 9. And Rob, not only do they have the best winning record in the 10 years of the ABL, they have a winning record on the road. And traditionally, they have the furthest to travel.
That's exactly why you probably are in the playoffs more than everybody else. If you have a winning record on the road, then you're going to make the playoffs every year. You're going to have a winning record at home. That's your goal, and it's to play 500 on the road.
That's right.
And if you can win more on the road, that's going to be on the coaching staff. That's going to be on management, getting the players prepared, having a plan, and being ready to go on the road when maybe not every team is.
Well, one of the good things about being on the road is there's no distractions. There's no work. There's no family. You're together as a team, and you actually form a bit of a real strong bond together, and you've got a job to do. And the one job you've got to do is play baseball. And so then you really bond together, and it becomes a real tight-knit unit. So for Perth, they got some serious travelling all the time, so it really gets them tight together as a group. So that could be a little theory behind their travel and getting away together.
Absolutely. I always loved having a road trip the first time out because, it's a team bonding event to that first one, and then play at home second week or third week of the season.
Alrighty, we are ready to start off the Giants at the plate. Down early. Not something unusual for the Giants this year. They're quite good at chipping away at deficits and coming home with a wet sail. But they do face probably the hottest pitcher in the Australian Baseball League, and Dylan Unsworth. It'll be Curtis Mead to get us underway. Unsworth, his first pitch right in St. George's Terrace, it'll probably be in Perth.
And the one thing we know is Unsworth is always going to challenge here. We know that he's got a fastball that's around the 88-90. He's got a slider and a changeup, and it's all 3 pitches are very effective and can really put some challenging times for all hitters.
So he's got a 1-1 count on Mead. Curtis comes in with a 319 average. Launches that to left, and we've got a home run. Yes, we have! A solo shot, Curtis Mead, his 5th home run of the season. We were expecting a low-scoring game, Rob.
Wow.
See, it's turning into a home run fest.
Yeah, it looks like, it's better wind conditions than what we've had the last few weeks for the home games out here when we've had low-scoring games, when it was 1-0 and 2-0. Today, it's fairly calm, it's good conditions, and the guys are teeing off right now.
But we've got 2 guys that are high-caliber pitchers. You had a guy on the hill with an ERA of 2, and he's already had a home run hit off him, and we've seen 3 runs scored already.
Just the second home run that Unsworth conceded, and he's working through his 50th inning of pitching this season. And now, on debut, Jeremy Hazelbaker. Right back at you. Unsworth said, yep, I'm up for that.
A little how do we do there. Right back at him. Good job from the pitcher to get himself in a good fielding position. And it doesn't matter how hard it comes back at you. If you're ready in a position to field the ball, you're going to at least get a glove on it, knock it down. This time he got the glove on it completely. Yeah, perfect follow-through. Got himself in a good fielding position and a very athletic approach right there. As they say, most pitchers are athletes, they'd like to say about himself, wouldn't they? Of course.
You have got to wonder, you'd like to put a sort of a pacemaker on Unsworth at the moment just to get what the heart rate's doing. He's starting, pitching, he's given up a home run. He's had one right back at him. It'd be roaring at the moment as Reynolds popped fifth up. It's a Heat lottery. In the end, Cosma says that's all mine, and that will be the second out for the Giants.
And an interesting approach there to Reynolds, 2 breaking balls, 2 sliders. Not giving him any chance, the number 3 hitter, to have a chance to see a fastball.
I'm wondering if as the game goes on, if the Giants want to sort of jump early on some of his pitches. You look at his opponents this year, 0-0 count is the best that they're hitting against him. Hitting 368 against Unworth, 0-0. After that, it goes down.
Yeah.
When he's actually ahead and it's 0-1, it's 294. But once it goes after that, we're into the 140s, 180s, 090s.
Yep.
So you have to get to him early in the count. And so far they've been taking pitches. Maybe that's why he's going with the off-speed instead.
So Whitefield has fouled that. So Aaron Whitefield averaging 376, leading the Giants. 32 hits, 6 doubles, just the 1 home run this season. But boy, it was a big one. It was a grand slam to help them win Game 4, opening series against Brisbane. We have a little bit of a third base coast umpiring conference. Hopefully they're still not talking about that foul tip strikeout from
No, it looked
inning.
like Brooke tonight's got something he wants to ask the umpires about. He called the crew chief over, Neil Poulton down at third base, called him over to discuss it first before talking to the other umpires, and it's maybe something about the lineup or kind of guessing at this point here. He was waiting for something that he didn't like. I thought it might have been for an injury timeout for his pitcher, but he didn't. He didn't go out on the field. But see if we can find out at some point. One of our roving reporters maybe will go down.
Yeah, it's a wouldn't have been anything the Giants were doing because there's only Whitefield at the plate. No one on base as we speak. 1-1 count, 2 out. 2-1 ball game. That's well on the inside, scraping the socks, and it's 2-1. That are all those on the chat. G'day to Allison, my name, Banana Bob, Kim. Plenty of Heat fans there. As Whitefield pops that up. Bit of a Bermuda Triangle near first, but in the end, pretty easy work going back with the flight of the ball. On that occasion, it was Kaleo Johnson. That'll do it for the Giants. End of 1. If you've just joined us, you've missed 2 home runs. It's Heat 2, Giants 1. Earlier in the week, the Friday Night Baseball team caught up with pitching coach Josh Spence.
So it's the midway point in the season, and the rosters for every team are interchanging at this juncture. But that's the great thing about professional baseball, I think. Guys who have been in that system, which again the majority of our players have been, it's kind of a revolving door in the sense that players are getting called up, sent down, a lot of transactions are happening. So I think in the realm of baseball, everyone's accustomed to it, so everyone's gelling well, and their goal is to be the best player that they can be, especially towards February. So I mean, our goals align, and the thing I say to the pitchers, I mean, there's not a whole lot of development that can happen in 4 weeks, but if we can plant the seed for something greater in the year, then that would be exceptional. But at this point, it's more about them getting their work in, and we're just very grateful to have them here and competing with an Adelaide Giants uniform on.
And that might just be what they've been talking about, Brooke Knight and the umpiring crew. That is pretty much the batter's eye, is a blue marquee with a few people. Not your traditional batter's eye in any sense, Rob.
No, we've seen in previous seasons here, there's a big blow-up black tarp out there. We've seen a higher extended fence in the background. This year, just put the black tarp to the top of the fence with nothing above it. So it is a blue tent. The people are wearing dark colors, but there is movement which could be distracting.
Try hitting it Norwood over with all the colours behind you. You got problems here. Come on.
Yeah, well.
No, fair enough, Brooke. I agree.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just trying to think of all the other grounds, and yeah, pretty much no one else is sitting in a tent behind centre field. It is one of the unique features of the ground. So we're going to go 6, 7, 8 here. Ulrich Bajarski, Kaleo Johnson, Roberto Alvarez up next for the Heat. Travara's working into a second inning of work. Wojcicki pops that up. Coming in from third is Mead, claims it, and there's your first out.
Yeah, coming in hard with that fastball inside, and I think that's the key. You've got to get ahead with your fastball. You've got to own that fastball. Then that makes that change up even better. So you can see he ran a little two-seam by the look of it that came in. Curtis Mead coming in, solid, taking the catch, getting the out.
He ended up at home plate by the time he completed that. That was a fair run.
Well, there's some breeze up there too. That doesn't make it an easy catch.
As Johnson swings hard. I'll tell you what, there is a bit of a breeze coming in from the scoreboard from the right field, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing stopping him hitting him to left tonight.
No, balls are jumping off the bats today, and the pitcher's going to be in for a long day. They're going to have to move the ball a little bit around. 0-1, that one's going to be driven to center field, but Whitefield's going to take a few steps back, catch that one just over his shoulder with his little show-me type catches he's kind of gotten used to knowing.
Now, both of you guys are coaches. You both coach underage. Is that something you wouldn't want to see expanded beyond the professionals?
Definitely not.
I can understand pro ball players doing it. Aaron Whitefield is a professional baseball player, and the younger kids will see it and they'll try to emulate it, but he's caught thousands more baseballs than they ever have. That first pitch is going to be fouled off over the right grandstand there.
And I guess we want a bit of flair in the game as well, you know, and it does add a bit of flair, but as a coach for kids, catch it with your eyes, in front of your face.
He's definitely working a little faster this inning. Maybe that first inning was getting used to being on the mound.
I agree,
and getting comfortable and finding kind of his zone for a pitcher. First inning kind of a little bit tougher than some of the others, but he's getting the ball back, throwing it. He's just kind of chucking.
Yeah, and also it's time for Mitch and him to get to know each other, know what they throw and understand each other. That takes a bit of time as well. That's not something you're going to get straight away. And well handled there by Edwards on that backhand pickup. But, you know, they've got to work in sync. What does he feel comfortable with? What does he want to throw as his out pitch? We know that the change-up is his valuable pitch.
So there's the hit. That's going to be the third hit for the Heat as Alvarez finds the gap between right and centre. And with two out, they've got a man on. And, of course, sometimes you get a call up to go somewhere and you're almost playing the next night in the States.
Yep.
He would have got the call up in the States, get his paperwork ready, fly down under, get ready to go to Canberra, then told we're not going to Canberra, and sit around for a week. He's had to wait a long while to actually throw this baseball.
Yeah, that's true, but in all fairness, they are professional, and he has got his work in this week, so... But it's still not the same as a real deal. It's never the same, is it? Getting into this situation, not being able to talk to each other as you could in a simulated game. Now you've got to get a feel for each other, body language, know how he's throwing, know what he wants to throw, what's his go-to pitch, and then how he handles himself under pressure.
Right now it's Jess Williams, who's part of what I call the Brew 2, along with Alex Hall, on the farm system of the mighty Milwaukee Brewers. And Hall is here. He's on the bench tonight. And it's fascinating when you look at the starting lineup for Perth. The top five have played 28 of 28. Johnson at 7, Williams at 9 have played 27 of 28. At 7 of 9 that have played almost every game. That's a player that almost took out his teammate. But in the end, Peterson a quick pickup and third out. That'll do it for Perth at the top of the second. One on, but no score. It's 2-1 and it's time, gentlemen, for my favourite part of the broadcast. Thanks to SA Power Networks, this is the trivia question. Which Adelaide Australian Baseball League Championship Series was the current Heat manager Brooke Knight not involved with? So Adelaide have been in 3 ABLCSs. Brooke was there for 2 of them. Which one was he not? Of course, Brooke, current Heat manager, former Bite manager, and a little bit of other history I won't share at the moment. So
he also was with the Heat at one stage. before that? Was he...
I'm not saying. All I can say is you can see the answer in front of you.
So because I got the first two right, I've been out here. You gave me a question that I'm 100% going with the people on the chat today.
And if you're on the chat, this is your
come
chance.
on. You don't get these wrong.
And
you
of
don't
course,
get these wrong,
you
Rob.
do get a whole inning to Google it, unfortunately. But I want the people on the chat to back themselves. Heat fans, you should know this.
I think I've given it a hint, haven't I?
Get on there and let us know, because he's your manager. You should know the history of your manager. So otherwise, you can see it's a night for hoodies. Plenty of the Woodville Senators here tonight, having enjoyed the pre-game warm-up and an interesting game. Looks like Traverse has sort of settled into it, which is good to see. Taylor has said A, so we have our first lock in for A. Look to see if anyone's game enough to pick. Oh, and Toxic Greens picked B, so no one liking C at the moment. We will find out in due course. Middle of the third, folks.
As we're going to the bottom of the second here, we'll see if the big ball keeps coming tonight, or if both pitchers are going to settle in after their first inning. A little bit of disruptions, and Curtis Mead led off the home side with a home run. After that, Unsworth got himself three pretty easy outs, and maybe now he's moving along towards the games that he's looking for. He's looking for that 8th quality start this season.
Yes.
That new Perth Heat record is probably in the back of his mind somewhere.
So he's got to go through 6 with 3 earned runs or less. Is that a quality start? Yeah.
Yes.
So he's got through 2 with 1 earned run. Or got through 1, sorry. He's into his second. So it's going to be 5, 6, 7. Jordan McArdle, Eric Peterson, Mitch Edwards. Jordan McArdle isn't yet on the leaderboard, amazingly, with the stats, because he hasn't quite qualified with the at-bats yet. But he's slugging .633. His OPS is 1108. And he is getting better as the season progresses.
Oh, what a turnaround for Jordan. And you can see over the top. Last year he hit 160. Now he's hitting 347. He's had a very good start to the season. Said they played him on the shift there, and as they get him out, unfortunately, as we talk him up, and we have to state the obvious, but that's how it is.
Yeah, no, he's been having a great season, and that's where one of you mentioned not having the at-bats to qualify. That's maybe where missing that series against Canberra is going to hurt. It's more of individual statistics as opposed to maybe wins and losses in the standings. Nobody's going to get the at-bats. Nobody's going to drive in runs, hit home runs, get hits those weekend strikeouts.
You lose a lot of stats there, don't you?
Unsworth missed low first pitch, falls behind 1-0. And that one he comes right back, peels that one in, leaving the count 1-1.
Alrighty, so Eric Peterson comes in now, averaging 228. There's that one behind the net. Might just get you guys to call a bit of play. I need to look something up.
Peterson hitting 228, you mentioned, but the last 2 weekends before the break, quote unquote break, he was probably the hottest Adelaide Giant, and so for him, he definitely probably wanted to play last week more than anybody. But he'll be looking to battle back here on the 1-2 pitch from Unsworth. It's going to be up. They're going to take a look. Catcher's asking for him to check, and umpire's not going to check, saying he doesn't need any help. He didn't go around on that one, so even the count 2-2.
Well, we've seen a lot of breaking balls, even when he's behind the count. So it'll be interesting to see what he does here. And struck out McArdle on the breaking ball, and there it is again. Comes through with the slider to finish him off.
Foul tip into the glove of Roberto Alvarez there. Second out, and after the leadoff homer to Curtis Mead, that's 5 straight outs for Dylan Unsworth. And the Giants might want to try to get some base runners here to get him out of rhythm, get him into the sets, and try to get him early before he really gets settled.
Well, that's his second K in a row right there. So he's starting to get into a groove, as we said. Get that first innings out of the way.
He's getting Edwards swinging on the first pitch, looking for the strikeout, what we like to call the kinning.
The kinning, that's it.
Sino actually caught a few of those this year. We're not going to call it right here because Edwards has put that straight to third, which is pretty easy work for Williams to mop up and to get the out. So that'll do it for 2. After her home run first in the first, all donuts in the second. It's the Heat 2, the Giants 1. Yeah, here's the dinosaur race. I do get entertained by simple things, and I just can't stop laughing when I see they just get 2 members of the crowd or the staff or the volunteers to race across the diamond. And usually carnage ensures in one form or another. And that to me is what baseball's all about. You
It certainly is.
have a pretty rough week, you come to the ballpark and just
Be entertained.
enjoy time at the ballpark.
And we're being entertained here, aren't we?
I might shut up. They might get us in the dino seats. So going to be top of the third. Don't forget, we're looking for your trivia answers by the end of this Perth Heat inning. Brooke Knight. He was involved in 2 of the 3 ABLCSs that Adelaide have played in. The very first one against the Perth Heat. The second one at Norwood against the Perth Heat, and well, answer C was when the bite travelled to Brisbane. Which one was Brooke Knight not involved with? Right now, it's at the top of the third. And it is Tim Kennelly. We're back to the top of the order. Is looking to work his way through. So Kennelly leads the Heat in runs, 24, which is what you want from your lead-off man. Get on, get around. This occasion he flies out. Bit of a raffle at second base. Peterson decides that's right, and that's the first out.
Yeah, so far we're in the top of the third, 2-1. All runs have been because of the long ball. And one of the things that I was looking forward to seeing is if the teams were going to be aggressive tonight. Both are, you alluded to it earlier, they're up there in the stolen base leaders of the league, and they're both teams that do like to run. They like to be aggressive, but without runners on bases so far, they really can't. We did see Cosma steal a base. We saw the last out, the last inning. The Heat were running again. So that maybe is what they're going to try to do, but you got to do it without 2 outs. As we see another fly ball to Whitefield, he's going to camp under that one, put that one away for the second out, and Tavares has himself two quick outs here in the third inning.
He'd be very happy with that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you can't steal them if you're not on them.
That's right. We've got a couple of shout-outs. We've got some boys over in Geelong. I think they're in Geelong. We've got the state under-18s. They won today. They beat the, let me double check that, the New South Wales Country, I believe it was.
And the under-16s
the under-16s did very well, and we've got Mark Paparella and Jamie Bushell that are watching. They've taken a photo and sent it to me. G'day, boys, and yeah, they had a exciting time over there and had a very good win today, so well done to the boys. I think it was 18-8, actually.
Wow.
So they did very well. I think it was against Victoria Country. It's always good to beat the Victorians in the opening round. So thanks for the shout-out to Mark Paparella and Jamie Bushell, both former Adelaide Giants players.
Indeed. And look, that's important with guys like yourself that have played at this level to pass that knowledge and experience on. It's a reasonably thankless role, or not a very high-paying role, doing the coaching. A lot of time and commitment, and of course time away from family.
Paying role. There's no payment in there. Well, not that I know of, unless other people are getting paid. But no, it's rewarding to see the kids get better. Really
1-2 count on the outside. We got ourselves a first Richie, all the twos. 2-2-2. Johnny Cusar struck out his first at bat. Takes it now to a full count. Cusar part of that Tampa Bay 7. He works the walk, and that, I think, is the first walk given up tonight.
That certainly is.
After getting ahead of Cesar there, he was able. Cesar was able to get himself on base, work a good count. But Tavares missed pretty badly with 3 pitches there, trying to be a little bit perfect. Knew he was a dangerous hitter.
You got to do that, don't you?
Didn't want to give up something there to him.
Yep. And here again, you got to be very careful with Glendinning.
It's almost same scenario as before, except it's Cusar on and not Cosmo. Robbie Glendinning had a huge grand slam on a Sunday. Not quite a walk-off scenario, but made a big difference as he punched that foul. Series decider against the Melbourne Aces at Altona, the grand slam against Warwick Sauerpold, and that was a big series split, I think it was, to Perth at the time.
There's an idea that are going to catch everyone by surprise there from Glendinning. It's a big 2-run shot, his first at bat. Tries to lay one down there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Get himself on base, turn it over to the next batter, who is also one of their big home run hitters this year. But you just want to keep getting people going. And there goes Cesar on the play. Ball in the dirt. Edwards isn't going to have a chance. It's going to be another stolen base. So the Heat continuing to be aggressive on the base pass, get themselves their second stolen base of the evening. Runner in scoring position now for the RBI machine.
Well, at that count there with 1 strike, it's an off-speed pitch that the mail's going to be, here comes the change-up. And obviously the change-up's going to be down, and he misses, and a good time to run on that. So heads up running there.
Interesting stat on the stolen bases. We all know how Aaron Whitefield and the rest of the Giants have increased their stolen base. 78%, 38 stolen bases, 11 caught. They're 78% successful. On the flip side, they've given up 30 stolen bases, caught 6, so they're unsuccessful defensively 83% of the time. This has a ground out to Peterson, and that'll do it for the third. So on this occasion, Perth get one on, leave them stranded, but it is still a 2-1 lead. Last drinks at the saloon, gentlemen, for the trivia quiz. The answer is before you, A, B or C. You got about 30 seconds. Which ABLCS was current Heat manager Brooke Knight not involved with in some capacity?
A.
A for Scotty.
I'm just looking through the comments here. I said I was going 100% with what whoever had the most in the comments, and it looks like A has the most votes, so I'm going to have to go with A as well.
All right. And it is the series versus Brisbane. Brooke Knight was the inaugural manager of the Perth Heat. Well, actually, let me read you the Wikipedia, because the way everybody was saying A, I did have to go back and check.
Well, there you go.
So Brooke E. Knight, born in November 1972, best known for leading the Perth Heat to back-to-back ABL championships in 2011, 2012 to fit in the Adelaide Bite and Melbourne Aces respectively. B, he was the manager of the Adelaide Bite, but he wasn't for the series in Brisbane. That was Stephen Mint. So Phil 1, everybody else 0 on that one. I think that's our final trivia quiz for the series. Right, you can see the scoreboard. Heat have had 3 hits, have got 2 runs, courtesy of a 2-run jack to Robbie Glendinning. 1 hit, Curtis Mead, 1 home run. That's been the totality of the Giants' offense thus far. As we will get you some scores. Looks like the Melbourne-Geelong Korea game has been postponed at the moment. Maybe some of the rain that we got at lunchtime has decided to rain. And as much as baseball fans, we don't like seeing games postponed by rain, given the greater events happening, the more rain the better around the country at the moment.
Yes, that is great news to have over there.
top of the 5th in Brisbane. Canberra, as you mentioned, coming off the 2-week break laid an egg. They lead Brisbane 6-2 at the moment, and they are tied for second in the northeast. Meanwhile, bottom of the second, Auckland and Sydney. It's Sydney leading Auckland 6-2 after the Tuatara won last night. Hasn't Auckland Tuatara been a story this year?
Oh, hasn't it? Unbelievable.
It's not just that they're leading the northeast, but the tragedy at the start, 1-8 to start the season, and they've just gone gangbusters ever since. As we do come back here, this is Rickson Wingrove. He goes long, that's gonna hit the fence. In left centre, Wingrove stands up for a double. That is the Giants' second hit to the native from Newcastle.
Fantastic to see your lead-off guy come up, get a shot like that and get him into scoring position straight away, and a little bit of a jiggle over there at second base as well. Fantastic start for the Adelaide Giants.
A good drive there from Wingrove. As we see bounce, and then he drives it to left center, which is as we've seen throughout the season, teams are shifting him to pull a ball. So for him to find some power hitting the other way only helps kind of maybe spread the infielders out throughout the season for the last couple of weeks here.
So now we go to Cole Stovey, who's averaging 151 at the bottom of the lineup at the moment. So when they brought in Hazel Baker, it's probably a case of would it be Aklinski or Stovey who would make way in the starting lineup, and turns out to be Aklinski at the moment.
Well, just on that, and I don't want to preempt too much, but there is some mail on a left-handed approach versus a right-handed, hence why we can see that there's a few more lefties in the lineup tonight. So that could be possibly the scenario right there.
Yeah, I think we're always going to see Hazel Baker throughout for the last couple of weeks when there's a right-handed pitcher in, and then the other outfield spot is going to go to one either Aklinski or Stovey, who maybe has the hotter hand at that time, swinging it better in the cage. Right today, it's going to be Stovey's getting the opportunity. Yeah,
well, when I had a chat with Tank today, he said, and they spend an enormous amount of time in their research, you know, and the coverage that they do with Scott. He's out there doing a lot of research on hitters, what pitchers are doing, and you know, they get an inkling on something, and you got to go with that. And as we know, stats don't lie. You know, there are times when things change in the game, but tendencies do stay the same a lot of the time. So let's see how that unfolds as we go throughout the night.
2-2 count. Stovey, 11 hits for the season, 5 RBI. And when you get your lead-off man on at second, the expectation is you should score that run. If you've got 3 outs to 100%. Play with,
get them on, move them over, and score them.
Yeah, that's going to be the job of Stovey right now, is to move them over. Doesn't always mean bunt. Get the ball, find a gap, or hit the ball at least the other way on the ground to advance the runner so he can score on a fly ball.
If you just joined us, we're at the bottom of the third. Started with a bang. Robbie Glendinning, a 2-run jack to left. Lead-off man for the Giants came up at the bottom of the first, and it went over the fence in a similar spot. And that's been the runs thus far. First time Giants have had a runner in scoring position.
And that's not really the approach that you want. You can see there, it's something you've got to stick that shoulder in and drive it to right field. Just coming off it a little bit on both pitchers weren't busting him in. You know, and that's where you really got to take that one for the team and drive it to the right side. And unfortunately, Stovey not being able to do that on that occasion.
Yeah, and Daniel wanting to have a crack at the trivia quiz, saying it was A because he wasn't. I said the Adelaide ABLCS. Well, Brooke was in the Adelaide ABLCS as the opposition manager.
And which was what I sort of alluded to, wasn't it, when I said... I don't think he was the manager of the bite at that stage.
So now you're bringing out trick questions for the trivia then. Okay, I see how this works.
You'd have to wake up earlier to get one on Phil.
I was just trying to, I mean, I could have explained it in more detail and clearer, but the line only has a certain amount of space. Anyway, big play here. one out now. Back to the top of the lineup. Mead put last one over the fence. This one he plays the hopper to Cosmo. That'll be the second out, but he moves Wingrove around, which would have been great if it was none out instead of one.
Yeah,
but 90 feet away with an out to play with.
That was well read by Wingrove. That was a chopper. That wasn't a hard hit ball. On a hard hit ball, you don't go on that play. But you could see that that ball just bounced up and pushed it back into the hole at shortstop, allowing Wingrove to get over to third. So quite a heads-up play. 2 out, yeah, as you say, you'd rather him be in there with 1 out, but well run by Wingrove there.
Well run, very heads up, and that's where the failure to execute the batter before cost you a run currently.
That's right.
Well, now we're back to Jeremy Hazelbaker, who showed with his first at-bat that he can certainly line drive them.
We did talk about early in the piece, execution is going to be the key, and an opportunity there to execute goes missing for at this stage. So really need Hazelbaker now with his second at-bat in Adelaide for the Adelaide Giants to come through.
0-1 count. Puts that one deep. Has he found the gap? Where is this going to land? Yes, he has. We've got ourselves a tight game. As in the end, Kennelly and Cusa have a little bit of a discussion. Who's going to pick it up? And that, welcome to Adelaide. Jeremy Hazelbaker, he's got himself an RBI double. 2-2 ball game.
Outstanding to see as we asked for him to stand up and deliver. There he is. He's hit that shot at centre right. So very happy to see him come through with the goods for us.
I think we're going to see that over the last few weeks from Jeremy Hazelbaker. We're going to see some doubles. We're going to see balls in the gap and some well-hit baseballs. Picks his team up there, gets this game tied back up 2-2, and he's himself in scoring position for Mikey Reynolds to try to give the Giants a lead.
Well, the good news is Mikey Reynolds has scored 12 runs this season. The bad news is he has 1 RBI. He likes to be on base scoring them, not batting them in. Popped up to short, his first at bat. Takes a high one to even the count 1-1 with 2 out.
Tonight he's hitting 3-hole. He does have, with Mead and Hazelbaker in front of him, maybe opportunities for more RBIs. We've seen him in the leadoff or the 2-hole most of the year, which isn't an RBI driving position.
Correct. That's not what it's designed to do.
No, and with being the 12 runs scored, that is what that position is supposed to be. 2-0, he's going to jump that one, fall that one straight back, or straight down into his foot, sorry.
Last games played was 2 weeks ago, hosting Auckland. The Giants had 38 runners in scoring opportunities. They converted 5. So good to see that they're 1 for 1 so far tonight with a second opportunity here.
5 for 38 isn't going to get you too many runs in series. That's going to be a chopper to third. One's going to go over, and he's going to be.
And he
Reynolds
beat it out.
That one out. Safe call at first base. Didn't take it for granted that he was going to be. He was going to just roll out on that one. Busted hard down the line, and it keeps the inning going there. Good effort from Mikey Reynolds.
And that's the great thing you want to see. We see that with Whitefield. Reynolds leading the way as well. Speed, such a valuable part in a lineup. There's a ground ball. He doesn't roll over and die. He just beats up that line and gets it safe to keep the rally alive to go to Whitefield, the leading hitter for the Adelaide Giants.
So now, Hazelbaker just getting a little bit of instruction from his new third base coach. He's 90 feet away from the Giants taking the lead. If Whitefield can do something at the plate here. Meanwhile, Reynolds is off. That's a strike, and now it's 2 in scoring position. And that's the first stolen base for Adelaide, which you can do when you get on.
Yeah, at that point in time with 2 out, they're going to be playing back to get the out. They're not too fussed about getting him at second. Pretty tough ask to get Reynolds out at second. At the best of times, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't take a shot at it early in the game. It is a 2-2 game. Alvarez has shown this year, throughout the year for Perth, that he does have a pretty good arm. And to just the play straight come from the coaches that nope, not even going to throw. We're just going after Aaron Whitefield, who's one of the best hitters in the ABL right now.
The other thing, does it tip away to the Adelaide Giants that he's not going to make that play? They see that and okay, there's an open bag for us.
Sun just peeking itself out from the clouds as it's about to set here. Chance for the Giants to take a lead. And I tell you, a little bit at stake here. If Whitefield can get a hit and score 2, that's 4 in runs, and that's Unsworth quality start record out the door.
One-two pitch. That's going to come, get away from him, come inside, and get Whitefield on the hip. And that's going to load the bases. Now 2 out for Jordan McArdle. He's looking to do some damage here with one big swing.
Exactly right.
Yeah, well, that was the 2 seam that just seemed to keep running in and getting Whitey on the hip, which they certainly aren't nice to cop.
4th hit batter for Unsworth, who has an incredible, of all the stats for him this season, the one that the Talking Baseball Australia guys gave me that struck out the most. 52 strikeouts, which I think leads the ABL, 5 walks. That's a 10-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
And that's why he's up there for one of the top awards this year, and 7 quality starts. When you're not walking batters, you're not giving free bases and chances for runners to score and steal on you, then you're going to pitch well. You're going to pitch well.
Alrighty. So we've got the individual record at risk right now. It is 2 out. They double play, not an issue. Just need to find 1 out, and there's plenty of players around bases to get it. Carter was 5 from 12 last week.
Last at bat, they got McArdle on the sliders, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes here, what approach he's going to take.
And they've shifted a little bit to the right-hand side. Big gap between second and third base. Cosmo at short is pretty much standing on second base.
Continuing to throw those sliders, and
That's
he swung through 2 his first at bat, and swung through another one there. So it's up to McArdle now to make the change, because you know Alvarez is going to keep putting that down.
That's right.
Here comes the offering low, and it's 2-1. Runs off 17 hits, 10 RBI from McArdle thus far. He's into his 18th game, so he's missed 11. Actually, no, sorry, he's missed 7. But I always remember that 4 in Canberra. He swings again, and it's all the 2s, the Richie, 2-2-2.
You can see McArdle just coming off that, just opening up the shoulder just at the wrong time.
Shoulder and hip flying open, trying to keep himself back and still swing. But when your front side opens, you've already given up on that pitch.
This is a moment you can see.
This is a big moment.
Every
right
base
here.
occupied. Got him swinging. Unsworth's record, it's still up for grabs. The ball game is still up for grabs. It's tied 2-2 at the bottom of the 3rd. Hope you're enjoying Friday Night Baseball.
When your GP suggests an X-ray, low-dose CT scan, ultrasound or MRI, you can experience the difference of truly individual care and one focus, you. Sound Radiology is your choice for special attention, your choice for peace of mind, your choice when results are important. People from all over South Australia turn to Sound Radiology. One central location, one central focus, you. Call 1300 Radiology. Sound Radiology, your choice when care is everything.
Zambrero, made to order Mexican from fresh, quality ingredients. Explore our menu, dine in or grab and go. Vegan and gluten-free options. Fresh and healthy. Zambrero, Mexican with a mission.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running
Friday Night Baseball coming to you live from Active Display Stadium. The lights are on the ground, completely covered in shadow. Sunset probably about 15, 20 minutes away. And we have got ourselves a change on the hill.
It's like Michael Gahn taking over. So whether it was a pitch limit or it was a pitch count, but Jose Tavares 3 innings tonight for his debut for the Adelaide Giants. Gave up a 2-run homer to Glendenning in the first inning. Got a couple strikeouts second inning. I think he has to be happy with the way he came back from that first inning. Got through 2 innings, gave up a couple little hits here and there, but quality start for his first one out here, even though it was only 3 innings.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I was impressed with it when I said he was getting flustered and you could see the steam coming out of his ears. He really settled himself down and you know, two innings with no runs after that. Big hit from Glendenning, settled himself down. So full credit to him. Very well done in the way that he went. And to come out of that, you know, we were a little concerned that it could have blown out very early. So full credit to him, and good to see him there. And we see Gahn coming onto the mound, and he's done some work out of the pen and keeps building his innings up. So now the ball's over to him. So he's got the opportunity here to get himself some good innings in now.
So here's a 7th game. Did start a couple at the start of the season. ERA just under 5. About to start his 19th inning of work. So a handy backup.
I think, as you mentioned, he started a couple games and he's been working out of the bullpen for the last few games. And I think he's actually been very good out of the bullpen. His stuff plays well as a relief pitcher. He throws a lot of off-speed pitches, which when you're coming out of the pen and you don't always have to be a fireballer, there's going to be the first pitch. Holzer's going to pop that one up to right field stove. He's going to find that one with ease, put that one away. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Michael Game.
I was going to say Hulsizer, Wojcicki and Johnson, but the Hulk didn't give much of a chance for an introduction.
And Garnier will be very happy with that, to get that out. 1 pitch, 1 out. And like you say, he's very crafty in the way he goes about things, you know, and coming in this situation, 2-2 ball game, Perth Heat looking to get some runs, free swinging, so Gahn can be quite tricky here.
So now we've got one of 2 South African-born players on the Heat lineup, along with Undrith. Rory Wojcicki is in the Detroit Tigers system, 23-year-old, and you can see that the Heat are sort of doing what the Giants are doing now, but they're just a couple of years ahead with some of the youngsters they've brought through in Glendenning and Williams, Hall and Wojcicki, who are now getting some serious time in the States and have matured into regular ABL starters.
Well, even look back with the Keneally brothers, and you know, they've done it very well for a long time, Perth, in the way they've developed their players. They've gone over to the States and they've got their experience, come back into the ABL, hence why they're such a strong outfit.
Got to say good day to Elliot Spencer, who's tuned in from New Jersey. What I suspect is just before 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's just before 6 o'clock at the Varsity Bar in Perth, just about the end of the sundowner hour. I hope you're enjoying the game there. And the Paul Morgan's being a good host to you as
the Wings.
The Devil Wing competition, very disappointed not there for that, as that's the first walk given up by Gahn.
If we had known earlier, we could have put an order and had them maybe fly them over, or the Perth guys bring them with them.
You'd be a fan of Wings, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
At the moment, you actually cannot drive from Perth to Adelaide or Adelaide to Perth.
No, they've just opened it up today.
Opened up today?
7 days closure, opened up today.
It's at a stretch, it's a 3-day drive. Normal driving maybe 4 to 5, and there was one direct road from Adelaide to Perth across the Nullarbor, and there was a bushfire and it was closed for a week. The only way you could get there by Bitumen Road was to go via Darwin, which is a little bit like going from Dallas to LA via Chicago. Thankfully, don't have to do that anymore. And of course for these boys, they don't have to worry about it because they just flew over.
That's right. No travelling on the air highway for them.
This is Kalia Johnson, averaging 294 coming in tonight. Flew out to centre. 1 out, 1 on. swings through that one and gets behind 1 and 2.
And that's where Garn gets himself successful, when he throws in some tricky stuff that just gets, you just see him out in front and off speed there. A very good pitch at that time.
You can see the flags at the back there with the pick-off attempt. Flying directly in from the right field foul pole. Hit it that way, he'll end up in St Vincent Golf pretty quickly.
Bit cold tonight out there too.
It can be as cold as it likes at the moment. Another pick-off attempt just to keep Bajarski, who is a perfect 3 from 3 with his stolen base attempts.
Well, we have seen the Heat run so far every inning. They've had a guy on. They've made an attempt, a couple stolen bases already. So there's going to be a 1-2 curveball. That one's going to be left high. Even the count, 2-2.
So even with 26 stolen bases before this series, they still run. It's just goes to show how big Aaron Whitefield's tally is. It puts that in perspective.
I think this is one of the grounds. You don't see a lot of home runs, you see more stolen bases. Tonight might prove different. Oh, that one's hit second base. Barry Crocker over a bounce and everyone is safe. With a decent bounce, might have been the double play. But, yeah, that'll happen.
Tough break there for Eric Peterson on second base. Does a good job to stay with it, as it looks like it. We won't see it quite here, but it does hits a little patch there and kind of almost a stutter step hop on him. Didn't come up.
Yeah, it took that nasty
he's able
bounce.
to stay down, and but 1 out now, and the Perth Heat have something going. Runners first and second.
The thing is with that bounce, you know, it's that the second bounce can be dangerous.
A top spin bounce.
And you've really, when it hits up high, you've got to go in and get that. You could see him just playing back, so you wonder whether that's just a bit of unknown about the field. Peterson, first year here.
So Bajarski is at second, Johnson is at first. It is 1 out. Going to the man in the 8-hole, catcher Roberto Alvarez.
Smoked the ball to left field in his last at-bat. Right field, sorry. Down right field.
20-year-old, averaged 249 with the Bowling Green Hot Rods across 102 games this season. Basically, they almost brought an entire Tampa Bay team to Perth this year, 7 players. Of course, a couple have gone back. Tampa Bay used to have the relationship with Brisbane, just swapped over a year or two ago. As Alvarez pops that up. Wingrove and Edwards, the 2 former Blue Sox. Wingrove claims it in the end, and that's 2 away.
Drop in, Jess. Yeah, good job there by Gain to come back after falling behind 2-0. Stuck with his game plan, came inside, got a ball popped up in the air. Big second out, no advancement for the runners, and now they're in position to get themselves out of the inning here at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, not an easy catch there from Wingrove, as we can see as it comes through on the replay there. You've got Edwards going for it, Wingrove going for it. Yours, mine, whose? I've got it.
Yeah, probably the wise choice.
Yeah, coming in from the first base, you've got total vision of that. As the catcher, you've got to look up and see where it is, and you can see and you can hear the wind.
Now we can definitely feel the wind picking up too, blowing in on us here. It's blowing in from right field.
Just Williams down 0-1, fouls that. And now gains a strike away from working through his first inning of work this evening. Oh, we do get a bit of a pretty sunset tonight. There we go. Checks off second, fouled away, still a 1-1 count. 4-game set between these two. Tomorrow it's the standard double-header, 7-inning game at 4 o'clock, 9-inning game at 7. The finale on Sunday is at 12, so the Perth boys can get home at some reasonable time Sunday night. It's about a 4-hour flight over to Perth and about a 3.5 one coming back because you get the jet stream apparently. And again gets Williams swinging through, and whilst Perth get a couple on, they leave them stranded. That'll do it for 3.5. Of course, we're calling a baseball game tonight, but it's much more than that. We are fundraising for the CFS Foundation, which is the Country Fire Service. There's an online auction, some great items there. Go to adelaidegiants.com.au. There's some Aaron Whitefoot memorabilia. You can have an hour pitching session with a couple of the pitchers, or Josh Spence as the pitching coach. I think Eric Peterson, Jeremy Holzberger have given you some hitting practice. So there is plenty up for grabs. Make sure you check it out. We'll get down to the ballpark. Every person who comes through, we donate $1 from the gate takings, plus plenty of donation tins around. You can see pretty healthy crowd in tonight at West Beach for what is a traditional matchup between the two top teams in the Southwest Division.
Yeah, big out there. That K, you got runners in scoring position, 2 runners on. And to come in, you can see him mixing it up, going with the curveball, then coming in and blowing him by with the strikeout. So Adelaide Giants will be very happy to get out of that innings. And Unsworth comes back out again, ready to go and ready to continue to do his 4 strikeouts so far. So he'll be looking to keep the Adelaide Giants at bay.
Yeah, they threatened last inning, had the bases loaded, 2 out, weren't able to get more than the 1 that they had earlier in the inning once they tied it. But it is something that we'll have to look forward to for this game, but maybe even more for the games on Saturday and Sunday, is with Tavares only throwing 3 innings today, obviously was planned, but now they're going into the bullpen in the 4th inning on Friday, where the Perth Heat are still probably expecting at least 6, hoping for 7, maybe even 8 out of Dylan Unsworth, that's what they've consistently got out of him this year.
That's right, and that's a big difference when you start getting into the pen early in a series. And can be seen as a disadvantage there for the Adelaide Giants to have that change in losing Beggs, who, you know, he can go deep in the game and has gone deep in the game previously.
Well, he pitched the complete game in the 7-inning contest against Auckland, and at the end of that series, the Giants actually had some players left over that they didn't actually use in the pen, which is fairly unusual. Somehow it usually ends up working out. Peterson, quick play to third for Williams, and that is a first pitch out. Just the line on Tavares tonight: 46 pitches, 27 strikeouts, 3 groundouts, 3 flyouts faced, 13 batters. And I'll get the right team up for the last bit, which says that he pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He'll start his Australian career with an ERA of 6.
I think he'll be happy with that, just to get the bugs out of the system and find his feet.
I mean, but the ERA is 6, that's 3 innings, 2 runs. It was a 2-run home run.
That's right.
As a pitcher, you know you're going to give those up. Home runs happen. You want to try to keep them to solo homers, but unfortunately this time it was a 2-run home run. He'll look to come out probably a little bit better next week when he gets another start.
Well, 3 hits, you're giving up against one of the best offensive lineups. You know, they're definitely a talented hitting team.
Just the Unsworth pitch count coming into after 3, he had 49 pitches. So we've got 6, 7, 8 in the Giants lineup. We had Peterson, who you saw briefly there. Mitch Edwards at the plate at the moment with a 2-1 count. And Rickson Wingrave is next up.
Healthy cut on that one there. Fouled that one straight back. Probably one Mitch would like to have back and try to find himself a gap on that pitch there.
Yeah, just missing on that.
So 2-2 offering. Edwards plays that one straight to first base, which is pretty easy work in the end. Unassisted play for Kalia Johnson. That's 2 up and 2 down thus far for the Giants in this 4th.
Unsworth picking up this inning right where he's been all season. Had a little speed bump last inning, and this one 2 outs on 6 pitches maybe?
Yeah, he's got himself into a groove, but an interesting point that you'd said before, Rob, going after him early, as we could see that that Peterson jumped after him first pitch to try and get into that high average situation.
Wingrove goes long to left. That should
Again.
be fouled into the Perth bullpen.
Swinging first pitch. So they know what they got to do.
They're going to have the stats.
That's right.
He's 394 against them in an 0-0 account. So when first pitch of the at-bat, you're almost hitting 400. After that, it drops dramatically.
You know exactly what you're doing, don't you? Your eyes are wide open when you go up there ready to swing.
Speaking of swing, there's another one at a low pitch, and Wingrove is down 0-2. And Unsworth is a strike away from taking it through 4.
I think he was expecting a breaking ball on that and just fought that one off. As we'd seen before, Unsworth coming in with a lot of sliders and just trying to sneak that one in under the radar there.
We do have the big shift here again for Rickson Wengrove. Last time he hit a double to left center, so and that one he's going to hit to left center too, but that one's going to have a little bit of height. The wind's going to carry that one completely over in the left field. No diving catch for Holzer on that one. He's just going to camp under that one for the final out of the inning. So Unsworth does his job. 1-2-3.
That'll do it for 4. It's still tied up at 2. Hope you're enjoying Friday Night Baseball.
Welcome to Sombrero. We're the Burrito Boys with the Adelaide Giants, and we're here to make you a burrito with fresh ingredients.
Today we're going to do a little different. Mike is going to be my eyes, and I'm going to be the hands.
To your left hand, right there. Now with your right hand, grab the oven, throw it. Yep. Yeah, that works. Now, yep. Swipe it. There we go. Nice. Now put it right on the plate. Oh, that's spoon. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Oh.
Now scoop it.
That's like nice and warm too.
Aaron, great job.
Ooh, that one's hot. That one.
That's gonna,
that one.
There you go. Lift that off. Grab that. A good scoop. Now put it right on the rice there. Oh, that's looking beautiful. Next station. You know, I'm a big fan of shredded cheese. I think you are too. Sprinkle it. Good job. Toss some lettuce in there. Sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Now pick up that lime and give me a good squeeze on there. Ooh.
Which one's the part one? Because that one's fire.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, you're not getting anything out. You gotta squeeze it. All right, wrap this up.
You want one from foil?
Fold it and.
That's good. Thanks, Sombrero. We're the Burrito Boys with the Adelaide Giants.
Yes, always enjoy the burritos from Zambrero before the game. It is a bit of a Friday Night Baseball tradition. Mine's the chicken, though, guacamole. What about yours, gentlemen?
I went the burrito bowl tonight.
I'm a lamb guy for burrito all day, all night. Love them.
They do great burritos, don't they?
I want to challenge the Giants boys. Last year they had the burrito kilogram challenge eating comp. I think they should get one of us, mainly me, up there.
What do you reckon, Mikey Reynolds will make it for you like he made that one?
No. Some things you practice your whole life for, and I reckon that's mine. As we've got Kennelly, Cosmo, and Kisar, the top 1, 2, 3 for the Perth Heat.
Got to be on your toes here.
Michael Gaines going to know he's playing baseball after this inning.
Good pitch there from Gain. After going with the big slider, got Kennelly swinging on the pitch before, came inside, found the black on the inside corner, and a little bit of disagreement between batter and umpire, but Kennelly, veteran ball player, he knows it's only strike 2. He's got another one coming.
That's right, and that's the beauty of going away. It makes that inside harder to cover as a hitter.
Going back outside.
We've been sort of wondering with the new fencing arrangements here about the foul balls to the right-hand side. There's a little bit of area there that a hard line drive has no fencing yet. And we're sort of hoping that there's no need for any tonight.
Well, don't have too many yak ales down there, otherwise you're...
It doesn't quite look like the yak bar's set up fully yet. That one's going to be fouled straight back. Maybe in 2 weeks' time when the final home season comes around.
Well, this is the exciting part now of having the ability to bring the Giants over, and I guess we can talk about that a bit more, and the plus of having the field being developed.
Yep.
Or here we go, drop third strike. No,
drop.
Well, I don't think there was a swing on that.
This is more discussion about the third strike.
I don't think there was any swing at all.
Tim Kennelly was exchanging some pleasantries, but nothing to get ejected. And third base coach Dan was pretty quick to make sure that Kennelly's still going to be in the lineup.
Oh, there wasn't really a swing on that at all. We just had a quick look back on the feed, and an interesting call on that one. Move on.
B. Cosmo is the K-man tonight. Speaking of strikeouts, which means cheap beer at the Yak Bar. Might get a free baseball while you're there as well.
Well, you're definitely going to have to keep your head on a swivel if you're down there. Game pours fastball right over the outside corner. Strike one, gets ahead 0-1.
Yeah, everything even. 2 runs each, 4 hits each, no errors thus far. That one is fouled up behind the undercover grandstand.
Well, the news with the, should we say, improvements, redevelopment, $100,000. Thanks
State
to
government chipping in a
state
bit as well.
government coming in, and excellent work by the Giants and Baseball SA working together to provide some upgrades to the facilities.
Yeah, just what we're talking about is the KBO, the Korean Baseball Organisation, has a team, the Adelaide Giants. And they're coming here for spring training.
6 weeks, I believe, is 6 weeks.
It's a fair time.
Staying down at the Grand.
As you do when you're in the KBO. As that one is hit hard to left, it looked dangerous for a while. The left fielder there in Hazelbaker sort of went back towards the fence, then came in as the wind slowly took it away.
Cosmo had a look at that like he thought that was gone. That had some hang time, didn't it?
Yeah, it had a couple few steps almost to the courtesy turn from the left fielder, but once it got up there, that ball, as we mentioned earlier, the wind picking up, and it's starting to swirl a little bit there, because off the bat of Cosmo, that looked like it was going to be over the fence, but got up there, hung there.
Many parks had to be out of here.
Yeah.
Many parks.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing. As a caller, when you see these high shots, you lose track of the ball. And you follow it by seeing how the fielder reacts.
And you hear from the ear the crack of that bat.
But of course, in a strong wind, that crack may not mean as much as it could have. But it is really starting to gust up a fair bit now, so I think it might be a night for some small ball, well-placed hitting, and a bit of base running.
We have seen the big ball from the home run from Glendenning. Star's going to find that one straight back. But in his second at-bat, he did try to lay one down.
He did.
We see Jordan here he squared around whether he had intentions on actually putting it down or not. These are their 3-4 hole hitters. These are guys who have 6-7 home runs in their lineup, and they're thinking small ball.
I like to see that. I like to see guys have the ability to change, not just be a one-dimensional player. Mix it up a little and, hey, look, we want to make something happen. We know that it's not going to be a 6, 7, 8 run game. It's going to be a very tight game. Execute is
the other
the
thing
key.
is that, we talked about the analytics now. That is becoming prevalent as this is a ground ball to second. Another Paul Hot Peterson's after that
great
little
play,
backhander.
Peterson.
That was a lot harder than it looked.
It certainly was. That was no easy play to come and get that. But you got to get that at that right hop. And we talked about him missing that one before, and the way he came and got that then, outstanding play, Peterson.
Because we were talking before about the key to mixing it up, because if the stats are saying you do something and everybody shifts to right, but you prove you can hit to left, suddenly they're almost giving you the advantage.
That's right.
So I think it's going to become more and more that you need. A pitcher can't survive on one good pitch.
Yeah.
At this level, maybe 2 good pitches. Really professional level, you need 3 good pitches. So I guess that's that 5 tools. You've got to have a mix.
If you're a one-inning guy, one batter, or maybe even 3-batter specialist now with the league, the rules that the MLB is going to, or a closer, you can get away maybe on 2 good pitches. If you're a starter, you need at least 3, if not 4. And for hitting, yeah, you have to be able to do different things.
That's right.
You look at professional levels, yes, there are guys who get away with hitting 40 home runs and hitting 220, but that's becoming few and far even now as more of the 90s and 2000s era. And now a lot of the guys they swing the bat. There is lots of shifts because the analytics say there are.
That's right.
And that's just where guys continuously hit balls, but it's not where they just hit home runs. They spread it too.
And we talk about the game being a game of adjustments, and you got to be able to make that adjustment. And if it is a defensive game, as a hitter, what do you got to do? You know, if there's a runner at second and none out, you got to put that ball to the right side. You got to do those things. So you got to make those adjustments. If you're a leadoff guy and no one's getting on, you got to put the bunt down and see if you can get on base. So very key parts to the game now.
And everybody knows what the baseball is here in Adelaide. The ball doesn't travel very well.
No, it
so you have
doesn't.
to play smaller baseball. That's known throughout the league. It's known
Balls
everywhere.
Don't fly out of here, although we've seen 2 home runs tonight. But that's it. It was very calm early, and now, you know, we're not going to see too much going on anymore.
A kaleidoscope of colour around the ballpark at the moment. And a pretty fascinating game with a fair bit at stake. The personal record for Dylan Unsworth. No Heat pitcher has had 8 quality starts, let alone in a row in a season. And he has got to work through 6 innings and give up no more than 1 more earned run. He's got 6 outs to do it. He's going to face 9-1-2, so he's going to have to work through the best of the Giants hitters
Certainly
to
does.
achieve. He's going to have to earn it. He has been a great addition through his 7 previous appearances. Never had more than 1 walk in any of those, and they've all gone at least 6. Most 7, 1 went 8. Pitching between 85 and 110 pitches, and right now, before this started, he was at 57, so he's well within range to go fairly deep if he doesn't get into trouble.
Well, every second inning, the first inning he gave up the home run, and there's going to be a big swing and miss, even the count 2-2. First inning he gave off the leadoff homer, then he got the outs. Second inning he cruised through. Third inning was the hiccup. They scored a run, loaded the bases, but he's able to get out of it without any further damage. Last inning, about a 7-8 pitch inning.
Yep.
So see what happens this inning as he gets another strikeout of Stobie. His back-to-back strikeouts, he's struck out both times. That's 3, 4 in a row for him.
5, that's 5.
5, yeah.
What a pitch that is. See that 2-seam fastball run in. You know, he does command that slider very well, but right there at that point in time, just blew him away, and that was an outstanding pitch. To be doing that in the 5th innings, he's really in a groove now.
Well, here's the fly in the ointment for the Heat thus far. Curtis Mead, who hit the home run at the inaugural at bat. He was going for 2 tonight. That swing.
Again, they're jumping at that first pitch. They're looking for that first pitch. They're looking for that average that once they know after that first one, he gets real tough.
So don't you really just then with your first pitch throw it anywhere but where it's going to be hit hard?
You also want to get ahead of the count.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to be mindful of that. Now, I've just been sent a beautiful photo from the under 16 parents that are over in Geelong.
There's a line drive and it's going to drop. So Mead has his 2nd hit tonight, and we've got a lead off. Well, no, we've got a man on for the Giants.
Very happy with that, and they're very happy. They're jumping around the Davies, Paparellas and Bushels sitting there watching the game on the feed.
Excellent.
So great to see them, and I'll wish all those under 16s and 18s all the best over there for their tournament.
A big signal there for Curtis Mead with
Handy.
1 out with Jeremy Hazelbaker. We saw him rip a double into the Zambrero gap in right center last time for an RBI, which tied the game. And now, again, be looking to maybe put his team ahead or at least kid himself up there, get Mikey Reynolds and Aaron Whitefield, the 3-4 hitters, a chance to drive in a run.
Matty Calkin says he went on the mixer looking for the radio coverage. No, it's Friday Night Baseball. We're giving you the live stream tonight from Active Display Stadium. As that's found away. The Next 3 games won't be video streamed. We're going to team up with Talking Baseball Australia to give you the audio feed through MixLR. But don't go to my channel, go to Talking Baseball Australia. And we'll be doing the radio call. So tune into that. You will not miss an out from what promises to be an exciting series.
You don't stop, do you, Phil?
Well, I've done all these stats and research. I might as well use them. One game is not enough to get it all out. I mean, where else would you rather be this weekend than at the ballpark?
Exactly.
The first 2
what a series.
teams 1 and 2 playing for possibly first place in the division. Absolutely. And Baker's going to pop that one up. We're going to see where that one's going to drive, but it is going to go out of bounds.
And on the flip side, it's not just playing for top spot. If someone loses this series, they open the gate for the Aces to storm through.
True, they do. And it's the head-to-head as well that's important as well. Do you know what I like about this guy is he doesn't commit too soon, and he's got lightning quick hands. You can see he's fouled a couple of balls off that have been laser beams over to that to the left side of the field.
Trying to catch Meaty leaning there a little bit. And that's where you see the pedigree of a player who played in Major League Baseball for multiple seasons.
That's right.
This isn't a player who had a cup of coffee, a few at-bats. This is multiple seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals and Arizona Diamondbacks.
You can tell the quality, can't you?
Now, we got a step out. We've got Mark Haylock on the chat saying, welcome back, Soup. Now, that would be you, Scotty.
Yes.
Why Soup?
Nickname Soup Dog.
Soup Dog, okay.
Long story.
Was that some dance moves from back in the day?
No, long story. I don't know if we got enough time.
Family friendly?
It is family friendly, but it's not as exciting as what it sounds.
Okay. 2-2 count. Deadlock game.
Wow, what a pitch. What a pitch.
Strikeout number 6.
Like that just shows the class of Unsworth right there going ahead against Hazelbaker. Like that is a absolute prime jewel right there. And to come out on top, a quality at bat, he battled and battled and battled. And to come through with that fastball right there, that as a baseball purist, you take your hat off to Unsworth right there.
That's probably one of his best pitches that he's made tonight. 2-2 pitch and the bottom just dropped out of that ball. But see if the Giants want to get Curtis Mead running, a player who does possess a little bit of speed. So they've been aggressive, obviously, throughout the season. Now with 2 outs, maybe try to steal a base and get a runner in scoring position. And the worst case scenario is you got Mikey Reynolds leading off next inning and a player who is used to it.
We have seen him hit and run early in the season. 2 out. You know, is it a time right now to look at a bit of a running game?
Mead has only attempted 2 stolen bases this season. He's 1 from 2.
As you mentioned, it's the timing of a play, and you're looking bottom of the 5th inning, middle of the game, tie game. It probably is a good time to run and take your chances with it.
Number 3 hitter, go to Whitefield with runners at
and there
first
goes
and
Mead.
second.
Throw down to second base. That one's going to be right on the money, but Mead's going to get in and around that. So there's the stolen base for Curtis Mead. Now the Giants have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Well run by Mead. That was a great piece of baseball there.
Not a lot in it. You can see the takeoff.
Not a lot at all. I think the throw was just, and this is where the wind comes in as well, the throw was just to the left side of the base.
Yes, you don't throw it at second, you throw it about half a body length in front of second to get that tag before the player gets there. Says I easily. Doing is another thing entirely, isn't it, Scott?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's very easy to talk from up the back here for sure. 1-2 count with 2 out. The Giants have a man in scoring position. Bouncing foul from Mikey Reynolds.
Reynolds battling here. Last couple foul balls, trying to find some green, put his team ahead. A single here probably puts the Giants ahead by a run in the bottom of the 5th. Unsworth looking for one more strike to get himself to the top of the 6th inning.
And Mead in a scoring position here.
Reynolds fouls Drills that one high and away over left. Keeps it at the 1-2 count.
Interesting to see here now where we're going to see Unsworth go. We've seen him be very effective with his breaking ball, but he's also got that fastball popping through the zone now.
Last couple of fastballs were in. I would expect to see maybe him go with that slider away here and try to get him to fly away. Change up inside.
Another bouncing foul.
Fouls
you can
another
see
ball off.
The breeze rippling through the various players. I'm glad we haven't got Tommy Fitzgerald pitching at the moment. He wouldn't be able to see.
The lock's flowing.
The lock's flowing in front of his head.
A little shout out there to Timmy Lavis as well. He's jumped on board. Thanks for the kind words, Timmy.
Coach Soup Dog strikes again.
Do you be predictable or do you be unpredictable in this? You got pitches to play with here.
Another foul there from Reynolds. Stay alive. In this one here, 1-2 and count. You're looking for a pitcher's pitch.
Yep.
And 2-2 is one you're gonna want to bear a little more on because you don't want to run the count to 3-2. But 1-2, you do have a little bit to play with, so you can go out of the zone, try to get him to chase something that you want.
You don't want to make a mistake here because then all of a sudden you're behind. So you're spot on. You want to get something out of the zone, low and away. But Reynolds fouls that off again, and a quality at bat here by Reynolds.
So that is 5 and possibly 6 fouls now in succession.
So the good thing this also does is this starts to burn the count up as well.
And so Unsworth does have a little bit in reserve, but of course, visiting team, you want to go as deep as possible. Average is 7. They'd love him to go 8. They would really set up the rest of the bullpen for the weekend. Oh, Reynolds gets a hit, but it's going to be down the Hulk, who won't miss that in left. And after plenty of tense build-up, that'll do it for 5, and we've still got a tied ball game. It's 2-2 between the Heat and Giants on Friday Night Baseball.
When your GP suggests an X-ray, low-dose CT scan, ultrasound or MRI, you can experience the difference of truly individual care and one focus, you. Sound radiology is your choice for special attention, your choice for peace of mind, your choice when results are important. People from all over South Australia turn to Sound Radiology. One central location, one central focus, you. Call 1300 Radiology. Sound Radiology, your choice when care is everything.
Zambrero, made to order Mexican from fresh, quality ingredients. Explore our menu, dine in or grab and go. Vegan and gluten-free options. Fresh and healthy. Zambrero, Mexican with a mission.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
Friday Night Baseball coming to you live from Active Display Stadium. The top 2 teams in the Australian Baseball League, both in the Southwest Division, playing a key 4-game set. Lots of runs in the first, not much since. It is a 2-2 ball game. What's happening around the rest of the ABL, Scott?
Well, we see that Melbourne and Geelong are postponed, so there must be some wet weather there, as we talked about before. Canberra have just put another run on the board to go 10-2 against Brisbane in the top of the 7th. We see Auckland are trailing to Sydney 7-4 in the 4th innings there.
So those 2 games are the exact fast service.
Joel Sutton, Supercar Warehouse. Thank you very much, Joel.
As we get a first pitch strike on Glendinning. So those 2 games in Brisbane and Sydney, the direct polar opposite results of what we saw last night.
10-2 in Canberra and 7-4.
A little bit of confusion. Wingrove came off the base to collect it. Garn went and chased it. Garn looked up. There was no one on first to throw to. Had to do his own laundry.
Heads
and
up
that
there.
is a 1 unassisted.
That's heads up to be aware of that and to be in the game and, you know, get over You tell pitchers all the time in PFP, get over and be active. Don't just be a passenger or a spectator. You're another player in all those situations.
Absolutely. Made a good pitch to get the little dribbler to first base. Fielded the ball and then wasn't immediately looking to going to drive that one straight back. Wasn't immediately looking to flip because he knew the first baseman wasn't on the bag, and just picked it up, ran over, and it ended up being just a simple one unassisted put out, but little harder if it's not executed properly.
That's right.
So this is all sizer at the plate. Obviously with the name, the Hulk, but looks a little bit more like Thor than the Hulk, to be honest.
He certainly does.
Oh, to have hair like that. Fouls away. 0-2 count. One out, no one on. 2-2 ball game.
I know we've talked about the varsity bar over in Perth, but once again, lots of fans there watching right now. Connor Lowry, pitcher, injured a little bit right now. Helping leading the varsity bar fans there. So shout out to all of them. Thanks for joining us today, and see if we can get a little more excitement going in this game. It's turned into a pitcher's duel as we see Michael Gaiman, another strikeout there.
That's number 3 from my count.
Yes, it is. Same as mine. We knew it was always going to be at some stage. It sort of took us by surprise with those 2 home runs. And another shout out we should say, he came back before Mark Haylock,
yes.
Former Giants coach, Adelaide Bite coach, Goodwood Premiership coach. So a wealth of knowledge.
It's all your fan club watching tonight, Praddy.
Oh, well,
no wonder our viewer numbers are shooting through the ceiling.
Maybe I'm not allowed to go on holidays anymore.
Not during rating season anyway. This is Ulrich Bozarski at the plate, facing Michael Gain, 2 up-and-coming youngsters, both around the 23, 24-year-old range. Did he swing? No, did not. First one of those calls has probably gone first way tonight.
One of the batters in the ABL that has probably one of the strangest batting lines. 5 home runs this year, 7 RBIs. For a team that scores a lot of runs, there's just nobody on base in front of him when he actually gets into them.
Well, he averages 302 and slugs 635, which means if he does get on, it's usually with a couple of bases. He does have an OPS of over 1,000 coming into this weekend in Adelaide. Takes that one high, and we've got all the 2s, I reckon. Yeah, there it goes, 2-2-2. Top of the 6th and a 2-2 ball game. Richie would be having a field day. Swing, drop, strike, and this is going to be a put out to first. That'll do it for the Heat. We're midway through 6, and I'm not sure if we're going to see too many runs whilst these 2 are on the hill. I think it's going to come down to a relievers duel in the 8th and 9th.
No, the Giants started Tavares today. His first start with Adelaide, 3 innings, and then they've turned the ball over to Michael Gahn, who's come in and thrown 3 dominant innings.
It
doesn't look like there's anybody moving yet in the bullpen, so he might be going out for a 4th.
You talk about moving. The fastest mascot in the Australian Baseball League, the Supercar Man.
Supercar Warehouse. We just saw Joel Sutton come up here and say g'day. And then we see his mascot, a great supporter of baseball, Supercar Warehouse, not only at the local league, but also here with the Adelaide Giants, investing heavily and supporting the club very well and getting right behind them. So we thank Supercar Warehouse.
And there's always
Superman.
Dad!
Isn't that fantastic to see?
And he's got a baseball in hand. So he's got his souvenir for the night.
Outstanding. The Superman nearly got caught. Will that ever happen?
They must have found a new mascot, because I know Chomper got caught a few times. I think there was.
And then there was the piggy from one of the banks who got absolutely annihilated one night.
He did,
Pile on at third base. Fun moments you see at the ballpark.
And we're into the bottom of the 6th
Well,
inning.
here we go. Let's build it up.
This is the inning that could establish a new quality start for Dylan Dunsworth. if he does the 6, and then we'll see what they do after that.
Yes.
I see there is movement and stretching down in the bullpen.
Yep.
Because you can throw 8 innings and give up none, and then come out in the 9th and give up 5, and there goes your quality start.
It does indeed.
What's his pitch count at, Phil?
His pitch count is at 78. So, as mentioned, his lowest was his first time out. That was in Auckland against the Tuatara. He pitched 88. And his highest was last week against Brisbane at 110.
So there's still room.
There's still room. He's pitching well. He's into a bit of a groove going here. We'll see how this inning will probably dictate the next one. Coaching staff will be down there going inning by inning probably right now. They want him to get the quality start and set that record. Of course, personal records are great, but winning the ball game today is the most important thing.
That's
so
right.
They're not going to put somebody's personal record ahead of winning the game, which could be the decision in making a playoff or not.
So let's set this up. It's going to be 4, 5, 6. Whitefield, McArdle, Peterson. Whitefield just his third plate appearance. It was hit by pitch. This one's popped up. Let's see what the wind does with this one. Swirls around a little bit in the end. Johnson's up for it, and that's a quick first out. Exactly what Unsworth needed.
Yeah, Whitefield wouldn't be happy with that at-bat right there, and you can see pretty steaming as he walks off. Not what you're expecting from a leader, from your best hitter in your lineup to come up with that. But again, you know, we're facing Unsworth, who's a quality pitcher. You're not going to get easy at-bats.
No, we're going to see what he throws here. He's gotten Jordan McArdle swinging sliders all night long. Hasn't come close to touching a single one of them. And that one pours in fastball, going to be just miss on the outside. But we've seen that first couple of bats. It was fastball, slider,
away,
fastball,
in,
slider,
away,
and then
in.
slider
That's
when he needed to. And there's that slider. Even the count 1-1.
Could be seeing 2 quality starts here today. Sort of a combined, sort of like a combined no-hitter in some ways. A combined quality start between Travaris and Gain. Right, now Unsworth is 2 outs away from setting a record with the Perth Heat, which is no mean feat. This is a club that's been going for 30 years. It's going to be a 3-1 put out, and that is 2 away.
And they followed the same pattern. The fastball outside for the ball, slider, swing and miss. Fastball inside, called strike, slider, a little chopper to first baseman for the easy second put out of the inning.
I think Geordie will be happy to get bat on ball on that one after 2 strikeouts. So another step closer, you know, it does help you. He's going to get another at-bat in this game, so it just does build a bit of confidence. But Unsworth here just dealing quite a nice innings.
Absolutely, you can't, as a hitter, you can't go in just because you had a rough night, and you are going to get another at-bat.
That's
where
right.
You could be the decision-making in the 8th or 9th inning.
Yep. And you've got to have that little confidence. That's a little win for him, although not a win in his stats, but a little win psychologically for him, ready for that time.
0-1 offering. Peterson swings at a low one again. 0-2.
Just blown
A strike away from the club record. Dan and Paul, where are you when we need you? They'd be going off their nut at the moment. They're going off their nut at the varsity, I'm sure.
For strikeout 7.
And a high pitch. 1 and 2. You did join us late. You missed all the runs. 3 of the 4 scored in the first. 3 runs scored before there were 4 outs. Peterson pops up and says, go get it, go get it. By the dugout. He's got it, and there's your record. Yeah.
Congratulations, Unsworth. Like that, you got to take your hat off to that. You know, this game is about, you know, for us, we've got to see both sides of it. And to get that record, that's a big achievement for a club at this standard.
It currently is a record. We'll see if he goes out next inning.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if he goes out next inning and gives up runs, that quality start can disappear
It
because
does.
you're still the
Okay, Rob, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll have to see where
Rookie
he goes with
commentator
it.
strikes again.
We're preempting
It's
that
only
he's coming out of the game.
We will take a break. I'll be tuned up shortly. Hope you're enjoying Friday Night Baseball. Welcome back, folks. Looks like I might have jumped the gun a tad. Apologies for that. Apparently, you can have a quality start going 6 innings at least and giving up 300 runs or less. Of course, it's how many earned runs you give up by the time you finish, not how many you give up in the 6th. So we will see how that plays off. All we can say is Unsworth is in position that if he doesn't give up more than 2 earned runs before he finishes, he has the record. And we're getting nods all around.
We were just thinking he was coming out after that.
All right, now tomorrow and Sunday, MixLR, the Talking Baseball Australia channel. You'll hear it all in beautiful audio with the PA in the background, just like you're at the ballpark. Right now we are in the 7th. It's still a 2-2 ball game.
First pitch from Michael Gunn misses outside. He's into his 4th inning of relief work tonight. And since he's been in, he's just done nothing but get outs.
It's almost like a late, he's a late starter.
Well, he was the starter last year. And uncharacteristically into the bullpen. That's not normally his role, or not what he's come down here for. So he would be relishing this job and be absolutely tickled pink to be in this role now, to get that opportunity to say, hey, look, I'm here. I want to be a part of this ball club. Give me these opportunities.
I'll see if I'll let you call the players. I'll see how far he's actually gone in an inning in a game so far this season.
And look, but even back in the 4th when he came in, he had that huge moment where he struck out Williams with runners in scoring position, and I think that set the tone for him after that and got him into a good groove.
Yeah, pops that one. That one's going to tail into foul territory. Wingrove's going to track that one down for the first out of the inning. I believe he had a start earlier in the year, which he threw 5 innings or so. He was a starter, as you mentioned, last year. But with the starting pitcher that the Adelaide Giants have had this year, he's been put in the bullpen, where I think he's thrived this year so far.
And to be honest, he's been used in long reliefs. You're right. As a starter, he went 5 on 2 occasions. Twice he's gone 4, couple 3. So he doesn't. He's not a extinguisher where he comes in for a couple of outs, put out a fire. He's here when we need someone to go a fair while.
And I think last year was the rule where 2 Australian starters had to be, or 2 starters had to be Australian. So with him and Moselle were mainly the 2 guys that took that role. But yeah, he has done very well coming out of the pen, and I like the way he mixes his pitches up.
Yeah, this is the first year that rule's been taken out of the ABL, where they didn't need to have 2 Australian starters out of the 4.
Yep.
And so then teams across the league have gone more international players finding starting pitching.
Yep.
This might be one reason why a little bit less offense seen this year, as that has been hit towards Death Valley that no longer exists, and it's into the new Giants bullpen.
Well, that would have been interesting if it hung around a little. There's an out that was beckoning. That
yeah, we could see some real player-crowd interaction by that fence.
Yeah, lose a fair amount of foul territory.
That
down,
is a lot, isn't it?
Right in that corner there, with the new expanded bullpens and work that's being done down there. But 2-2 pitch coming, and that's going to be fouled off. That one's a little deeper into the night there.
And there's that fastball that he really got by him there. It's quite a good pitch that, at this point in time, coming into your 4th innings, to still be coming through with that heat.
G'day to one of our regulars, Helgard, who's tuned in from Germany. It's a low pitch, makes it a 2-2 count. So trying to work his way through the bottom of the Giants order. It's 7, 8, 9. Here in the 7th.
And this is where he's got to be crafty here at this point in time. Getting that fastball, and now you don't want to slow that bat too far down of Alvarez.
He's got the 8-9 hitters coming up here. Alvarez in the 8-hole, 3-2 pitch coming. And he's going to pop that one up. Wingrove's going to take a look, but that one's going to cruise just over the burrito bowl to our right here. Allow the count to stay 3-2. But yes, he's going to want to attack these batters. He should have full confidence right now in all his pitches. He's into that 4th inning work. Nobody even moving in the bullpen. He can see it from where he is, and he's got the couple batters he should want to get out.
I'm liking the speed that's coming out of his arm. He's got some velo tonight. That ball's got some pop. And that shows right there. There's another fastball that Alvarez just can't get around. So it's good to see him coming through with some pop in that arm.
So Alvarez, 20-year-old from Venezuela. So we've got Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Canada, all represented.
And very good at-bat there by Alvarez, battling, and forcing a walk. So a quality at-bat there for the number 8 hitter.
Yeah, he fouled off the fastballs, like he was a little bit behind on them, and then went for something off speed in the dirt, and he just spit on it and just allowed. Wasn't even going to offer at that one, and now the Heat got a man on first with 1 out.
Well, here we go, something we haven't seen for a while. Some player on base, and with just 1 out. Jesse Williams, 0 for 2 tonight, 3 from 12 last week. If he gets on base, he's dangerous. He actually leads the Heat in stolen bases with 6, yet to be caught. He delivers on the inside, and it evens the count at all the ones.
Yeah, it's back in the 4th where we saw both Perth having a runner on.
They've been very active on the bases tonight, running, but I don't expect with the catcher Alvarez at first base them to be really going anywhere here. Williams swings through that one.
No, catchers not known for their speed, are they?
Too banged up usually. Alvarez has stolen 1 base.
I'll leave myself open for that one, don't I?
We just left it there hanging like a big curveball there for a while. Alvarez, 1 attempt, 1 successful steal. So it's about the quality, not the quantity there. 1-2 count on Williams. Finds the gap between first and second. It'll be 2 on for the Heat with 1 out. And this is their opportunity now to break the deadlock with Alvarez in scoring position.
Yeah, and here you go. You're coming up to the number 1 hitter, top of the lineup, Tim Kennelly.
Yeah.
Very scary as you come to him, and there is a moment here for Tank to go and see him. And while he does that, just talk about Gunn, who went to the US to on his own expenses to improve his velocity over the off-season. So you can see that has paid off, and we see him coming out of the game. And just we'll throw a shout out to Andrew Scott and Andrew Sperling, who are tuned in from Geelong as well.
Andrew Sperling, Spurls is here.
Yes, they're
Spurls.
The second game has been washed out of the doubleheader for the under-18s, so they won't play that.
As I suspect the ABL game between Geelong and Melbourne, they'll try and make that up. Don't know how that works with the Korean broadcasters.
Just happy to hear any games that are being postponed across Australia right now is because of rain.
Yeah.
Games are being rained out. That's the part that doesn't matter where it is. It's just good to hear that's what the reason games are being played for.
Well, we've already seen one of the Giants' new recruits on the hill. We're about to see the second. Daniel Propico, 24-year-old from Canada. Toronto raised, spent some time with the New York Mets and the Niagara Purple Eagles. That's a university in New York State where he majors in criminal justice. Drafted by the Angels. He was drafted by the Mets but went to college. Got his criminal justice degree and then got drafted by the Angels. He's the member of the Canadian national team along with Evan Risky. So the Giants not only developing some Aussie players but keeping some Canadians warm as they prepare for Olympic qualification next month.
They got a couple of the hard throwers from Team Canada. We've seen Evan Rushke all season with the Giants, the big man from the left side, and here we've got Procopio, who's a little bit shorter in stature, but has equally big arm. And in his first opportunity here, he's asked to get the Giants out of a little bit of a jam here. First and second, one out. We're in the top of the seventh, the late stages of the baseball game.
Yeah, welcome to the ABL.
3 seasons in the minors with the Angels. He's played rookie, A advanced and double A. Spent most of last year now. Got to get used to that. 2019 with the Mobile Bay Bears, double A. All that pitch, 16 games, 5.11 ERA. Let's see how he goes. Down under facing, well, just as Travaris did. First up, Tim Kennelly. Puts that one right down King William Street. Well, he knows where the strike zone is in down under. That's a good start. Tick.
And you like to hear the pound of that glove as well. But, you know, you've got a face here now. You've got Kennelly and you've got Cosma coming up. This is the heat of the battle right here. This is going to be some exciting baseball here for us.
Kennelly fouls well. Of course, double play will end it. A hit might just give the Heat a lead in the seventh. We're getting to that stage where different things can have very different repercussions. So he likes to work his hands on that bat. Now finds the grip he's happy with. Outside pitch, first ball, 1 and 2.
Heat haven't scored since the first inning. We're here in the seventh, but they're in this part of the order. They're going to be looking to take advantage. Top of the order, you have Kennelly and then Pete Cosma, the MLBer, with runners in scoring position. So this is where they're chance to threaten. There's going to be a little chopper to second base. Peterson gets another bad hop at second base. Infield dirt over at second base has given him a little bit of trouble today, and all 3 of them have been good plays for him to at least knock those down.
They're never easy, those ones going on the right side, and that's a play where he's obviously trying to get a double play, coming in at it, and getting one out isn't a bad thing. He'd be happy to come away with that. As you can see on the replay there, the chopper coming across, coming in, wanting to go for that double, so really pushing hard to get that play, but he'd be happy to get that out now with 2 out. Runners at second and third. It's still not an easy time right here.
Huge at bat. Alvarez at third, Williams at second. Heat 90 feet away from retaking the lead.
This is a baptism of fire right here. If you ever had it.
Well, quite often is when you're a reliever. You know, to come in when you need it. Again, he got in a little bit of a jam. Outside pitch, 1-1 count, 2 out.
Be interesting to see if they continue to pound the strike zone with Cosma here. The first base is open. They do have 2 outs. Go to maybe the next batter in the order.
I think that's a frying pan into fire job.
A little bit of more pop, but Cosma so far in his career has a little more history, a little more pedigree at this stage.
This stage.
Who's got the hotter bat right now? Who would you...
I would say...
where would you go on that one?
I would not be setting it up for Quasar with loaded bases. He's the one man in that Heat lineup, and they've got a very balanced offensive lineup. He's the one man I wouldn't put there. As this is put straight to short, they only need the one out, and they've got it.
Great play, Mikey Reynolds, right there when you need to make the basic plays. Comes up and gets the out, and a great ground ball there. Exactly what you're after.
2 on, none out. No run, sorry, 2 on, no runs. Where is this breakthrough run going to come from?
See, the scoreboard is equal right across, 2s and 5 for runs and hits as we hit the 7th inning stretch here. If everybody gets up, have a little sing and stretch of the legs.
Well, should we just see who the Heat bring out as their pitcher? You suspect, given the way he's going, that Unsworth is going to go one more.
Well, here he goes. Yep. Held back for as long as he could.
And so, got the Sweet Caroline. You missed Elvis night last home series.
Well, I am a big fan of Elvis, as people would know.
And I tell you, he primed them up.
He
waited till they were all standing up, and the Sweet Caroline was actually pumping through the joint.
I got the video footage from Jamie Bushell, sent it over to me, so I thank him. We've got some info come through from the state championships today.
Okay.
You want me to run through that?
Yeah, go for it, Scotty.
So the under 16s, who are head coach Andrew Scott, Andrew Sperling, assistant, and Nick Hutchings as the pitching coach, they won 18-8 in a Mercy against Vic Blue.
Yep.
With Max Stagg hitting a grand slam. So that was an outstanding win there for the under 16s. And the under 18s with coached by Craig Powell. Darren Roberts is one of the coaches, and it'll come to me the other coach, but they were successful today, 6-4 against New South Wales Country. The other game being rained out, so a great start there for South Australia on day one, and very exciting times. Both teams have got some quality players through their lineups, and both exciting times for both age groups.
WA, for the Perth fans, have got their team from Queensland. I think I did see an ACT team in the schedule, and then New South Wales and Victoria have 2 teams, either blue and white for Victoria or Metro and Country for New South Wales. That makes it a nice even 8, which is always the number you want when you have a tournament. Breaks it down very nicely. Speaking of 8, we've got 7, 8 and 9 coming up for the Giants now, bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Edwards Wingo, so similar to what Gain had in his 7th and struggled.
Very interesting point there, Phil, and as we talk about in a lot of tight games, you need 7, 8, 9 to do some work for you, and we saw that before.
Edwards put that one high. The Breeze is going to take it to the warning track and over. And fouled.
It looks like we've got another quick change in the wind here. It's now blowing more almost left to right, a little less than what it was earlier in the game, but it is swirling, and we saw that one go straight up the chute from Edwards and ended up drifting all the way out of bounds when third baseman maybe had a chance to make a play on that.
And this is what has made fighting some of the bushfires around the country so difficult. Strong winds that have been changing directions on a regular basis. It's made it very difficult to contain some of the huge blazes as Edwards strikes out. And I'm just doing my strikeout count. I've got 6 now.
No.
7.
That is it. 7. Lucky 7 right there.
Yep, you're right. It is 7. I missed the 6th.
All good.
So don't forget, folks, AdelaideGiants.com.au. Check out the various memorabilia and experience items you can bid for. And in the ballpark, $1 from everyone coming through the gate will be donated to the CFS Foundation, helping the volunteer firefighters around South Australia who have been stretched to their absolute limits over recent weeks. It is free entry, this series, for CFS and firefighters. Hopefully things calm down enough that they'll be able to take that rest that they well deserve.
And it's always great to see when home clubs here in Adelaide, but also across the ABL, all of them doing some sort of promotion to help the firefighting, the funds, the rebuilding, the whatever it is, the donations. They're all, as we see, back-to-back strikeouts there from Dylan Unsworth, and he's just cruising along here in the seventh inning. But just to finish that thought, it's good to see when communities pull together, whether you're directly affected by it or it's a little further away, but you still want to be affiliated and help out.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see.
Had a request, Scott, you've got the best view. If you can see any action happening in the Heat bullpen, yeah, we've got a little bit of movement happening, as you would probably expect this stage of the game.
Yeah, looks like there's a couple guys rolling it over down there.
The one thing here, though, this is the business end of the season. This is where you've really got to come to play, and you want to face these sort of guys to gear yourself up for playoffs, and this is where you've got to come out and really have tough approaches, tough outs.
Just with that Unsworth up to 95 pitches at the start of this at-bat, so this would be 97, so you think this should do it. He's a strike away, and couldn't get the paint out for that one of the outside corner.
But he's just tied up two quality batters in Edwards and Wingrove. To still be dealing at this stage is outstanding effort.
Stobie's already been struck out twice. Make that the hat trick. Unsworth does the kinning. And if that's it, that's a heck of a way to get a club record. KKK.
That's 9, and my book's full on the 9, and a disappointing inning there from the Adelaide Giants, but a great outing there from Unsworth.
Unsworth's slider looked maybe the best it's been all game that inning. Those 3 pitches that he threw to Stobie, the fastball for a ball, but the 3 sliders he threw, I don't know if he could have touched any of them.
Bang, 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 yes.
Alrighty, we'll take a break. Big finale coming up on Friday Night Baseball.
When your GP suggests an X-ray, low-dose CT scan, ultrasound or MRI, you can experience the difference of truly individual care and one focus, you. Sound Radiology is your choice for special attention, your choice for peace of mind, your choice when results are important. People from all over South Australia turn to Sound Radiology. One central location, one central focus, you. Call 1300 Radiology. Sound Radiology, your choice when care is everything.
Zambrero, made to order Mexican from fresh, quality ingredients. Explore our menu, dine in or grab and go. Vegan and gluten-free options. Fresh and healthy. Zambrero, Mexican with a mission.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
Just going to have a look at a replay of that strike. And Unsworth, no major emotion there, no fist pump.
Cool, calm and collected.
Just another day at the office.
Couldn't quite see if he got the official handshake from the manager when he came to the into the dugout there. It's kind of out of our view, so we're gonna assume that at the high 90s he's probably done for the night. There is action in the bullpen, but
98.
But we never know. He did throw over 100 last week, and we see Procopio continues here after getting the last out of the 7th. He's going to continue in the 8th, throwing darts.
There's a fair chat down there. I can. There's some
fair bit of
talk going on
into the Heat dugout as to what they're going to do in the 8th.
Yeah, there's.
There'd probably be something similar amongst the hierarchy at the Giants as well, because there's a big game one. I always thought this game was Perth to lose with such a pitching advantage. But he just hasn't had the run support that he's had in previous occasions. We saw this with Solback last year. He was lights out for the Adelaide Bite, but quite often his performance just didn't help because the Bite didn't score the runs needed.
Well, with two teams, as we saw before, ERAs coming into this, you know, two each, we knew it was going to be a low-scoring affair, you know, and we talked about the execution and the importance of that. So does it get to the point where, okay, if we don't score a run here, we go back with Unsworth? Do you think that's a situation? Being mindful of not going into the pen?
You're sort of thinking there's probably, you're going to lose whatever you do. You bring in a reliever, he might get hit. You throw Unsworth out there and he's going through over 100 pitches.
There's going to be more. There's going to be more guys down in the bullpen there that a manager trusts over others, and so those will be the ones that he'll probably turn to here as we go into the last couple innings of the game. We get a leadoff walk here. Good at bat from Jordan Czar. Get himself on base there. He fell behind 1 and 2 early. Battled back, fouled the ball off, and then earned a strike. But I'm going to imagine as a manager, you asked him to give you a quality start. He did it. 100 pitches. It's probably time to turn it over because you've got a couple more weeks. You are assuming you're going to get into the playoffs and you want to make a run. You've already got a couple banged up starting pitchers already. You don't want to threaten
good point.
The point of maybe another one.
Very good point. And it gets to the point where you're in the 7th, 8th and 9th, you've got to go to your pen, don't you? At some point in time, you hand the ball over to the guys. You bring 10 pitchers with you? So you've got to use them at some point.
So Robbie Glendinning is at the plate with a man on, the leadoff man with no one out. It's hard, that's going to fly foul over the burrito bowl.
And this is again where we execute. You get the runner on. You know, this is where you need some execution here.
Exactly we saw Robbie go big in the first inning when it was good conditions. But since then, that's been the only offense so far that Perth has had. They got to do a little more smaller stuff this inning to try to get that lead back if they want to win this game.
It's a ballpark not built for power. That's a long shot to right. We're going to land in the lap pretty much of Stobie. That's the first away. Just on Cusar, he's 0 for 2 tonight, but 2 walks takes his walk tally to 28 with 32 strikeouts.
Wow.
That's a pretty decent ratio, and his on-base percentage coming in was 488. Had a couple of walks, and it would probably pretty much stay there. So Glendinning's retired with the fly out. We've got Hulk and Bojarski coming up now.
Still some nasty at-bats here. Like this is far from over this innings.
The Giants keeping an eye on Czar. He did believe he tried to take one earlier this game. And I could see him going again there. It looked like his lead was getting a little bit bigger.
Coming into tonight, he's 3 from 5. So 3 successful, 2 unsuccessful. And we've got ourselves a conversation in the middle of the at-bat, which is unusual.
Yeah, well,
pitching coach Josh Spence saw something that he didn't like. Maybe it was on the throw over to first. Maybe it was on the first pitch, the timing, something that he just didn't like what was going on. So instead of trying to relay it to the catcher, he's just going to go out and just say it himself, and then there's going to be no confusions.
And at this point in time, you can't afford that. At this point, if you've got a hunch of something going on, call time, get out there, talk it out, sort it out, and get ready for it. Especially when you've got a new guy on the roster and you're still working through some stuff. And so you can see there Edwards making sure, all right, we know this guy can run, and at this point in time, we need to be on everything. We make sure that we get this right.
So the way I saw this series developing was that I thought Perth had a huge pitching advantage in game 1, but Adelaide might do better overall. They get better as the series progresses. The Heat still struggling to find that 4th starter.
Yep.
If Adelaide can win tonight in the game that Unsworth is pitching, it really opens up the rest of the series, and they already have the tiebreak, and they'd almost have the tiebreaker locked up against Perth. That 3-1 series, this is if they tie with the same wins at the end of the season, which, hey, this is the ABL, it happens. Adelaide winning 3-1 in Perth, a win here would give them 4. At worst, it would only tie the tiebreaker. Then it comes to division record where Adelaide have a good advantage. Of course, as I say, it's easy to say it up here. Making it happen out there is a different story, but the Hulk's down 0-2 in the count.
And a great spot to be right now with the Hulk up to bat.
Yeah, we're 2-2 here in the 8th inning. I think this is what we're going to see for the next 3 games after tonight, including tonight. So 4 games of that one's going to be popped straight up the gut there. Peterson's going to track that one. He's going to drift him back though, and he drops the ball. But being easy out at second base there, nothing Jordan Kazar could do, and it turns into a fielder's choice. Hulk ends up at first base, Holzer, and it might be a bit of the Giants might take that. A ball in the gap. Jordan Kazar probably scores. Holzer's a little bit bigger a guy, a little more upper body muscle, and may not score and may only get to third. So maybe beneficial, but.
No, I agree. It's a good call right there. Sometimes it's important to have, you know, it could even be a chop at a shortstop and you get that out at second if you need to.
So that's Ulrich Bajarski with 2 out. The potential leading run is now Nico Hulsizer, who's at first.
Here's a question for you. None out. You get the lead off on. Number 4, number 5. Not do the job for you. Is there short ball at that point in time? Is there not? There's fours and against, you know.
Well, you're looking for your 4 and 5s to hit gaps. I would normally say maybe hit gaps or hit it over the fence, but here over the fence is a little tougher at this stage of the game. But looking to hit that gaps, especially as the visiting team. If you're the home team, you might play for a bunch or something. But as the visitors, you're looking for 2 this inning. You weren't really you want 1, but you're more playing for 2 to get that maybe to open it up even more.
Big 2 out at bat. They always seem to be at this stage of the game. Hulsizer was off, but fouled away. It's still come all the way back.
There's the aggressiveness we've seen from the Perth Heat all night. They've attempted 3 or 4 stolen bases. They have 2 for sure. And looking to run here, even with 2 outs.
Looks like we have an issue in Sydney where the sprinklers have come on. And they're not going off. Happened in an Auckland game. It happened in an Auckland-Sydney game in Auckland a few weeks ago.
Need the sprinklers elsewhere in Sydney.
I was about to say, save the water, folks.
Well, another 1-2 pitch coming there as that one was fouled off. It might be another chance for Hulsizer to be going. If you're looking at it as the coach's point of view, you're thinking maybe this is going to be an off-speed pitch as he just came with a fastball. So it might be a good pitch to try to run and get yourself in scoring position with 2 outs. And he is going. And swing and a miss, though. That be strike 3. It'll end the inning. It was another fastball, just didn't able to catch up to it. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Still 2-2.
Just wanted to have a look and see what was happening around the rest of the ABL. As mentioned, but while I'm getting that up, a reminder, folks, that the CFS Foundation fundraiser is all the way through Series 8 tonight, tomorrow and Sunday. Everyone coming through the ballpark, $1 is donated. Donation tins around the ballpark, and we do have the great online auction. Go to it at adelaidegiants.com.au. The CFS Foundation do a wonderful job supporting volunteer firefighters who are out there at the moment supporting all of us. Get behind it.
Yeah, well, going around the ground, Canberra are 11-4 up against Brisbane in the bottom of the 9th. So Brisbane with 1 out, trying to make something happen there. Last minute rally if possible, but you think Canberra would take that. And they said they're back out on the field. Sydney are 8-4 against Auckland in the top of the 6th.
So once again, we're the late starting game, and we've managed to catch up to a couple.
Pitcher's duel, and to answer the questions, Dylan Dunsworth is still in the game.
Well done.
He is too.
He
98 pitches, and he's still continuing to go. It's probably going to be a very short leash.
Yep.
But then I would imagine it's going to be a base runner. If he walks guy, if he gives up a hit, then he'll be taken out of the game. But otherwise, they liked what they saw last inning. Struck out batters, and the last 3 of the last 4 pitches to Stovey last inning, I don't think were touchable. I don't think they were hittable.
No.
And they were 3 of his best sliders he's thrown
And
all
you know
night.
what pitchers are like. They would have come back in and said, Brooke, come on, man. Look what I'm
2-2
doing.
game, I'm staying
Don't take
in.
me out of
No,
this.
so
If I
he's-
get myself in trouble, then you take me out. Until then, this game's mine.
And 99 pitches. So I might get one of you guys to keep a track of his pitch count. His record is 110 in the in the Southern Hemisphere, but that can't be right. He's South African, so he probably has pitched somewhere in the Southern Hemisphere. In fact, he's pitched in Italy for South Africa in many of the... that was the Europe-Africa Olympic qualifiers. And that's pretty much been the only action he's had this Australian winter. And I think the last Australian summer he was in the Venezuelan competition. But there's one player who at the moment is going to leave Australia with an enhanced reputation than when he arrived.
Interesting they talk about with pitchers, you have to be big. He's only 6'1". It's not like he's overpowering in size.
Curtis Mead, as he found Death Valley. We can't tell. I think he had... No. It disappears behind the yak barrier now, doesn't it?
And the boys down there are telling him that ball was in play, but no.
No, the person who had the best view was the first base umpire.
That's right. He's right on it.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that the calls actually probably get a little easier for the umpires down that line there, because it's walking down there earlier today. It's about 2 feet between the line and the fence. So it's going to be easy to tell if it's in, because if it hits the line or if it hits in fair territory, it's going to generally probably scoot. If it's foul, it's going to hit the fence.
That's right.
So those are going to be some of the easier ones to tell now that you've lost all that extra zone out there.
I don't think we'll see triples too much now.
Well, as Mead pops that one up. Pretty easy playable ball for second base on this occasion, which is Robbie Glendinning.
Curtis would be disappointed with that after that first shot down right field line to get that lazy fly ball when you really need a guy to get something happening. You need that lead off. He's the lead off guy. That's his role, and you need him to create something in such a tight game.
Definitely part of the order here that the Giants would be hoping to get them that go-ahead run in the 8th inning, such a late part of the game when you have the top of the order and when they're hitting well. Curtis Mead was 2 hits today already. Hazel Bakeworth a big double, so they're looking to try to get something going with this part of the lineup. As the bottom so far tonight hasn't done anything.
That's right.
Well, from 4 down, I've got 1 double. Everything's occurred in the top 3.
And there's, like you said, Curtis, two hits. And unfortunately, at the time when you really need him to come through, you still take your hat off to get 2 hits in a game like this.
He probably missed a third by about less than a foot, I'm guessing, down
she's
down
a
that
beautiful
line there.
game, this, isn't it? You know, less than a foot, and he's 3 for, and he's standing at second. That's baseball. That's the beauty of it. That's why we love it so much. It plays with our minds so many times, doesn't it?
The inches equal yards,
Yeah,
and a little bit of well, piece by inches speech comes to mind.
2-2 count, 1 out, no one on, and there's another strikeout, and that is, I'm running out of fingers. It's 10, that's
10, and that's Hazel Baker's second.
Take the shoes off and get the toes out.
And I'm out of my room on my box there, so yeah, he's certainly dealing. 10 strikeouts. When's the last time we saw 10 strikeouts here, Phil?
I would have been Beggs 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Had dialed up 13.
13, there you
He
go.
was 1 short of Solbach's record. That was quite a way to end up. It was sort of like, oh, well, Dustin Beggs has found form, and at the post-game interview says that's my last game. As the player to short is out, that'll do it. That was a quick 1, 2, 3. And the decision to play Unsworth in the 8 has paid dividends. The Heat are still very much in this contest.
Yeah, disappointing there for Adelaide Giants, and those guys will be kicking himself, as you can see. So now they've got to get back out and play some defence.
All righty, the 9th is coming up. Don't go anywhere on Friday Night Baseball.
When your GP suggests an X-ray, low-dose CT scan, ultrasound or MRI, you can experience the difference of truly individual care and one focus, you. Sound Radiology is your choice for special attention, your choice for peace of mind, your choice when results are important. People from all over South Australia turn to Sound Radiology. One central location, one central focus. You. Call 1300 Radiology. Sound Radiology. Your choice when care is everything.
Zambrero, made to order Mexican from fresh, quality ingredients. Explore our menu, dine in or grab and go. Vegan and gluten-free options. Fresh and healthy. Zambrero, Mexican with a mission.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
Welcome back, folks. There you see it. We're in the ninth. And it's been quite a while since we've seen a run. 3 in the first, 1 in the third, and that's it. A very even contest. Adelaide have done it with a mix of pitches. It's been the Dylan Unworth show for the Heat. Speaking of new pitches for the Giants, they've gone for their 4th tonight. The man I like to call the fireman. He tends to come in when the Giants are in their biggest trouble, and he gets them out of it so often. Now he's going to start the 9th. Jason Lott, the former man from Canberra. And you said it was 8-9-1 coming up, Scotty?
7-8-9 coming up.
7-8-9.
And one of the things we know with Lott, well, he's got 4 wins under his belt. So, you know, you hand the ball to this guy and you'd feel pretty confident, but you're facing the Perth Heat. So nothing is a sure thing when you're playing these guys.
Don't feel as nervous with the close ones as in previous seasons. Though there's a couple of very conflicting stats going head-to-head at this point. There's a Johnson, who apparently hit a home run last week that knocked out a light pole. I'm not sure how far up that light was.
The natural. Remember that.
Robert Redford.
There it is.
Sparks flying everywhere. Much like the fastball that came out of Lott's hand in the first pitch. That one's good curveball there. Just missed a little bit inside. Count evens 1-1. Giants are in a good spot for themselves with 7-8-9 here for the Perth Heat. Good fastball. Catches the inside corner, 1-2. And then to turn it over to the bottom of the 9th, they'll have the middle of the order coming up to maybe get themselves another walk-off.
That's right.
In one-run games, the Heat is 2-3 this season. Adelaide are 7-1.
Well,
and that one was missed by that much.
That's right.
Loaded bases against Auckland.
An interesting thing I talked about before, Giants this season, they know how to get it done. Perth have got it all on paper and they look the team that are playing well. Giants are just finding a way to get it done, and that's so vital in clutch situations.
So just to answer the question about how a Talking Baseball Australia channel is calling a game in Adelaide, well, I'm doing the calling, Matt, and that's because I've been given the password. I've been adopted by the Talking Baseball Australia crew. We just thought
rightly so.
Rightly so. More listeners will be able to find it that way. And we do the radio calls for the visitors, and there's a beautiful pitch and a strikeout. Will we ever see a run again?
Well, on the Adelaide Giants, they're not going to want to see that, and that's a great start. We talk about you don't want to get that lead off on, and how vital that first out is. And well done to Lott on getting that out.
Yeah, he came in firing strikes right off the bat. Just missed with a good curveball on one of them. Then one just got away from him, but went right after the bat on the 2-2. That one's going to be a chopper, going to be off the foot of Alvarez. It'll be a foul ball.
He's really been a good pickup for Adelaide Giants, and they have recruited so well. Over the last 2 years, Whitefield, Reynolds, Edwards, Wingrove, Lott, Garn, you know, the list goes on of Australian guys that have come here, as well as we see Mead and McArdle and Fitzgerald, Lightbody, Moselle. There is a good abundance of quality Australian players in this lineup.
And for the Giants, they're all young.
That's right. That's
for the majority of them are all young players.
So I've been asked to somehow describe the MixLR app. I've got a baseball game to call at the moment, so that would be tricky. But if you Google MixLR, it'll give you a website, and from that website, you don't have to log in terms of joining up. You can just follow the audio call. Just do that tomorrow at 4 o'clock Adelaide time or 1:30 Perth time, and hopefully you'll hear some baseball. Hopefully. There's a 2-1 count with 1 out. Inside pitch. And now 3-1. Haven't seen too many 3-1 counts today.
No, we haven't, have we?
No, we've had the pitchers have been dialed in all game. Unsworth obviously has been amazing, and then Tavares, Gunn, and Procopio, the 3 that the Giants have used before turning the ball over the lot so far, have been all over it just as well. Good pressure pitch there from Lott. 3-1 pitch.
There has been 4
Alvarez
walks.
was taken the whole way.
Sorry. There's four walks.
I think Adelaide's given up 3 of those, I think.
No, all 4.
All 4. Unsworth hasn't given up, well, the max has been 1. He's given up 5 all season. That's incredible. Bouncing ball. There's your second out. And the Heat are looking at a run from nowhere or trying to win it in extras is their best hopes. Jess Williams, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Oh, sorry, 1 for 3. Did single to right his last at bat.
The other good thing here is Chafee is still sitting up the sleeve of the Adelaide Giants.
That's one of the differences the Giants have this year, the quality in the bullpen, especially the end of the bullpen. I mean, Ryan Chafee was here last year as well.
Yep.
But when they got Evan Rushke, Jason Lott, Procopio, who's here now, going to be big parts of that end of the bullpen.
Yep.
And they all, so far, have come out throwing gas.
That's a seed right there, isn't it? Nice pitch right there.
Right on the inside corner. You do have to be a little bit careful with Jess Williams. I know he did hit a home run in Perth against the Adelaide Giants, so he does have a little bit of pop in that bat.
That was his 1 home run for the season.
And there's 2 fastballs blowing by him right there.
One-two count with 2 out. Not just taking his time to get the signal. Looks exceptionally calm. This one is hit straight to Mead, who has time to
What a play,
warm it up.
Curtis.
And that'll do it for 9 for the Heat.
That's exactly why you in 8-9 inning you'd play no doubles defense. You put the fielders on the corners, because you see Jess Williams there, another 1-2 pitch which he hits, shortens up his swing. He drove that one right down the line. Don't know how it didn't hit the bag.
Yep.
But Curtis Mead was standing right there, protecting against the double. Easy played over to end the 9th inning. Go to the bottom of the 9th. The Adelaide Giants maybe put something together for another walk-off and get these fans excited again.
And so important defense. You know, how you don't make that play, then all of a sudden you go back to the top of the lineup. So key to get that defense happening right there.
Phil, you can officially talk about
I can
the
talk
new
about
record.
a record, because that ain't Dylan Unsworth on the hill. I'll give you who it is in a second. Let me just give you the picture, because that's the important thing. Then we'll talk about records in a sec. Oh, good. A number that doesn't match. Okay, we'll work this out. That looks a little bit like George Perez, but I'm not 100% sure. It's the new Jonathan DeMarte. I'll leave you guys to talk about Dylan Unsworth and the new club record. That is 8 quality starts from 8 appearances.
8 quality starts, and I haven't seen the other 7, but tonight I'm going to say was probably the best out of all of them. 10 strikeouts, no walks, 5 hits, the 1 home run from Curtis Mead to start off the game. The 3rd inning's the only inning which he had a little speed bump, a little hiccup. The rest of the time, he was dominant. His 8th and 7th innings, the last 2 that he pitched, might have been his best 2 of the night.
Yes.
He got stronger as the night went along, and you just have to tip your cap to a guy who's had a complete season so far and hasn't done anything but give his team a chance to win every time he's been out there.
He has, and what about that 7th innings, the 3 strikeouts? Bang, bang, he just got stronger. And even there was that point where he threw the 3 sliders through, 1 fastball, slider, and then even when he's throwing his fastball in the 8th, it just came with some pop. Like you could hear the crack of the glove. It was an outstanding performance and a privilege to sit here and call that game.
The Giants are going to be happy to have him out of the game.
Yes.
It's the 9th inning. They got a chance to win the game, and they don't have to deal with Dylan Unsworth. They can only fire the bench up.
Well, Jonathan DeMarte comes in, and by the end of 2020, he hopes to be called something that no one else here is called, and that is an Olympian. Because he is part of the Israeli national baseball team who won the Europe-Africa qualifiers. Didn't go to Premier 12, but won the Europe-Africa qualifiers. And Israel were actually, I think, the first team besides Japan to book their trip to the Tokyo Olympics and take up one of those 6 spots. So pitches in the Atlantic League for a while, and then for Quebec in the Can-Am Association.
Edge of your seat stuff right here, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, Heath fans are going to be probably the second time they've seen him. He was a new addition to their roster last weekend through 1 inning. I believe he gave up a hit, a walk, and struck a batter out in his inning. Didn't give up any runs, and so he'll be looking hopefully for the same out of him here. But he's got to face 4, 5, and 6, and that's going to be a start from Aaron Whitefield with a line drive single into right field. And once again, the Giants have something going for maybe a walk-off with Aaron Whitefield on the bases to start it off.
Who more do you want there? Who more do you want? Your number one hitter
on the bases,
coming up to bat with the best speed is perfect. Now we sit back and we see what Tank is going to do.
So just to let you know, DeMarte, his opening occasion, he pitched the 3rd in the game 4 against Brisbane last week after the starter went 2. 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 24 pitches, 17 strikes, 0 earned runs.
And here's exactly what we alluded to earlier in the game. McArdle has struggled mightily so far tonight with Unsworth, as a lot of the hitters already did with how masterful he was. But we said at the time, it's like, as a hitter, you can't put your head down because you're going to get an at-bat in an important spot. And here we are, bottom of the 9th, man on, nobody out. It is an important spot. Whitefield edging to go, doesn't.
That was a confidence booster, that at-bat, and that's what Jordan's got to take away from it was, hey, he got some wood on a quality hitter. Now he's got coverage here of Whitefield. A good opportunity. They'll be looking for a time in a count where Whitefield could take the bag. And really, this is where you want Whitefield to be going. The 20 stolen bases. He's got a left-handed batter. You know, it all sets up here for a stolen base. Or potentially a hit and run.
Against a man who walked it off a couple of series ago.
Or even a bunt. There's plenty of plays here that could be made.
Yes, I think we're going to see plenty of pick-off attempts. We saw Auckland 2 weeks ago not shut down the Giants' base stealing, but make them earn the steals with quite a few successful court steals. The word about Adelaide's approach to base running, especially Whitefield, is out there, and we're going to see numerous pick-off attempts.
Well, the numbers don't lie, do they? You know this guy's got some speed. You know that he's going to be running. We all know it's a running time.
Yeah, we know it's not who Marto's going to exactly want out there. Is we're now going to have the pitching coach go and talk about it. Is when you focus more on the runner and you keep throwing over there, you're losing focus on the batter. And the man at first can steal second and score, but he can't score from first base with the same guy while you're making pitches.
That's right.
You can lose a ball to the batter and end the game.
Exactly.
A stolen base, it hurts you, but it's not going to end the game.
It creates that extra element of pressure, and that's the great thing that Whitefield's brought to this club, is his speed is a threat. You got Jordan McArdle, who has a very good bat this season. He's improved his swing. He's worked hard on getting his swing right. it might not be your day, but it can be your moment. In the famous words that Mark Haylock would tell us before, is that be ready for this moment. And Jordan McArdle right here could be looking for an opportunity to really make something happen.
1-0 count, none out, and Aaron Whitefield getting a lot of attention. Got him. Wowee. Third time lucky. And whatever was said on the mound worked a treat for the Heat.
Yeah, he caught Aaron Whitefield leaning a little bit, got a little bit too much there. As we see, goes, and then the quick throw, good hard snap, and tag at first. That's a good tag and good quick hands by the first baseman there, and makes it a little easier now for the Perth Heat. But they, with that now 2-0, you got to go at a hitter who already does have a walk-off home run this season.
That's right.
And it was a walk-off in the 8th because Melbourne had to get a flight back. And their late night flight had been cancelled. Their departure time got moved up, which meant the game had a period of time. So, speaking of time, Perth are going to take all the time they want. This is bringing some attention from the home plate umpire. Just to mention here, umpires are tonight. Andrew Bell behind home plate. Blake Halligan at first and Neil Poulton at third. And
there's Chris Adamson going out there to clarify this visit. Second visit.
It's, you're allowed, managers are allowed 2 visits, catchers are allowed. There is the max number, which I believe is now 5 in Major League Baseball. And throughout the day, and we do have, that's what the argument of is, should the pitcher have to be taken out? But it is up to the home plate's discretion sometimes that the catcher can go out and talk to a pitcher if he's new, and it's probably the situation right now. You have a pitcher who's brand new to the club, and they just got to double check their signs and make sure they get their signs right, and it's not going to count as an actual visit.
But in all honesty, he's there to settle him down right there, isn't he? Just to bring him back a peg, tell him,
3-0 count.
And Tank smells that.
We got the strike. My apologies.
This is where the blood boils on both sides. The blood's pumping through the veins.
And it's only
Who wants to be that guy?
I looked at something on the way through. McArdle says that was... No, he's staying at home.
Certainly fans believe that hit him. Let's see, it goes down. Well, looks like he ended up getting his foot out of the way. Made me need to sell it a little bit better.
You don't get your foot out of the way of that, do you?
But 3-1, so good hitters count here.
That's
right. Going to get something he can probably handle.
Very tense. Bottom of the 9th. In the dirt, no doubt about that. And the crowd, you can hear they're getting into this now.
And Geordie stared him down, and I think that'll be the last time we see Geordie. I think there'll be a pinch runner right now.
Yeah, looks like Matt Hutchings will go in to run for Jordan McArdle.
And of course, now you wonder about the lead off, and if it had been a walk, then you'd have 2 on and someone at second with none out, as opposed to 1 on with 1 out. But look, the Bite are aggressive running the bases. They're going to get caught doing that sometimes, but that's what they're doing, and it's been overall successful. You take the lumps that come along the way.
We saw it a couple of weeks ago when they got picked off a few times and caught a few times, and that was early in the game. The ones that hurt are the ones at the end of the game. But a little more heroics here from the bottom of the order, then it won't matter.
So up to the 6th hole. This is Eric Peterson, who's 0 for 3 tonight. So with 1 out, you would expect, barring a double play, to see Mitch Edwards as well, with Ricks and Wingrove to follow after that.
And that's Matty Hutchings at first base with some serious wheels as well.
Just trying to see if I can find Matt Hutchings. I don't have any stolen base stats for Matt.
Well handled
there. That is because he hasn't attempted a steal yet.
Well handled there by Alvarez. That ball could have got away from him. And that's the
definitely
last
a time
thing
you need to be a wall behind the plate. You can't let anything scoot by and allow the winning run to get into scoring position.
That's right.
All the ones, bottom of the ninth. 2-2 ball game between the two top teams in the Australian Baseball League. Peterson connects. That's going to drop. That's going to be a hit to left. Hutchings will hold at second. It's 2 on, 1 out. And the Giants have a man in scoring position for Mitch Edwards.
No, the bottom of the order hasn't done anything all game, and now here we are in the ninth inning. New pitcher, so now it's the time for maybe the bottom to be the heroics. When so far they've been quiet.
And it's very important. You can see in games where teams have won, 7, 8, 9 have done something for them to get back up to the top of the lineup, and such a vital part in a game of baseball to get that run production, some activity from 7, 8, 9. And here you go to Mitch Edwards, a handy guy to have hitting in the 7 hole.
One hit could win it. A grounder double play could send us to extras.
You can just feel, again, we talk about Adelaide Giants now, they know how to win these games. There's an air of expectation is, let's go and get this done. And, you know, there's a feel where there's some confidence in the air.
And it looks like manager Brooke Knight's seen enough. That curveball there from Marte wasn't even a competitive pitch.
That's interesting.
And in this situation, he needs a pitcher that can get him some strikes and get him some outs.
How many you've seen a lot of baseball, Rob? How many times have you seen a pitch thrown, one pitch, and then you're out?
Middle of the at bat.
Like that's not even.
Didn't want to stick around until if he throws another one, it's 2-0.
That's right.
Can't afford. We're in the ninth inning. Can't afford to give it up.
Why go to him then? Why get him that next pitch? If you don't think he's that good enough, get him out of there. Interesting call to give him that one pitch.
Yeah, but he after giving up the hit there, maybe wasn't sure if he wanted to make the change. Wasn't hesitant
time to get
a little
guy
bit.
Ready in the pen, maybe.
Yeah,
might not have been ready.
But it is Friday as well. They could be a little short-handed. Don't know who they're starting yet on Sunday in Game 4.
Could be another
depends who's
game by committee.
Yeah.
And so they want to try to keep as many guys healthy as possible. And if they could have got an inning out of that arm, then it buys them an extra.
And this is the beauty of the game. There's so many elements that go on that you don't see from here, from the stands. You know, who's injured, who's healthy, who's not. Who's warm, who's not ready to go.
So this is Josh Rawlingson, who's at the plate, 21-year-old Australian righty. His last 4 appearances, 4 scoreless appearances, 4.1 innings pitched, just the 1 hit allowed. So they're bringing him in to put this out and send it to extras. And we'll concede some bullpen depth to do it.
We see a little bit of slinger, something from the side there. Typically, guys who throw from the side are more ground ball pitchers.
Yep.
Mitch Edwards, catcher speed, as they say, not the fleetest of foot. If he can get a ball on the ground, get that first out at second base. The one at first is almost natural.
Yep.
But try to get to someone throws from a couple different angles and get themselves a ground ball to get out of the inning.
Yeah, look, I can see it now. I can see Edwards getting on base. I can see Wingrove coming in for his 3rd walk-off. Infield hit, miraculous.
But it's not Whitefield at second base this time.
It's not Whitefield who's going to freak me out by getting from second to home in a split second.
Although a guy still with some handy speed, Matty Hutchins can run too.
Yeah, anyway, that's just a prediction. Let's see where it goes. 1-0 count, 1 out. Rawlingson is in form. Doesn't last long, but he's good with what he does. Checks off second, inside, and it's now...
Didn't come from down here.
2-0 count. I was about to say, surely the count doesn't reset.
No.
It's 2-0.
Saw that one was a little more over the top. Came inside.
Maybe on the edge of their seats here, edge of their seats at the varsity bar. And it's strong. Oh, that was called late, but it was there. 2-1. Edwards tonight, 0 from 3, was 1 from 6. So, average coming in 233. Fouls away, and suddenly it's 2 and 2. So Rawlinson is right back in it.
He had a very good year last year, Mitch Edwards, coming through with the goods quite often. Can he do it now? Such a vital time for the Adelaide Giants.
Yes, well, I think he played 38 out of the 40 games.
He did.
Last year, mostly in the catching role. I think the 2 he missed were injury. And that's going to find the 5.5 hole, does it? Shortstop's there to get the second out. Not safe. Everyone's on. It's loaded bases. Thought it might get through the gap, but Cosma was there in a hurry. It was just a slow grounder. By the time Cosma could do anything, everyone had advanced.
Good pitch there from Rawlinson. Jam shot there from right on the hands of Mitch Edwards, but he was in the perfect spot. Cosma, the only play he could have made was to try the out at second base. Wasn't going to get Peterson there, so no chance of getting Edwards down first base. It's
That's
just
a tough
slow
play.
developing play.
That's a tough play. There is nothing you can do on that. And you know, you did the right thing to go to second, but wow.
So it's 1 out. A sacrifice would do it.
Execution right here is the key. As you can see, the middle infield aren't playing in, corners are playing in.
Rawlinson looks at the first pitch. The umpire looks at it as well and is motionless. 1-0.
So the guys are looking to roll a double up the middle, obviously with Wingrove not the fastest guy up the line.
So suddenly all the pressure on Perth. A ball that gets past the catcher could score, a walk could score, a sacrifice could score. That's before you do the normal stuff like a hit.
And now you're behind in the count. Pitchers, you've got to get ahead.
That's why you always want runners at third base. There's more ways to score from third base.
That's right.
2-0 count, 1 out. Put up. I don't think it's deep enough. Kennelly at centre. It's going to be a race to home. Kennelly has it. Here comes the play at the plate for the game. Safe! They've walked it off again. Wingrove has walked it off for the 3rd time this season with the bang-bang play at the plate. The umpires have confirmed. They say it's safe. Let the party begin. I can't believe I've seen it again.
Well, that was the execution that was going to make the difference all game long. It wasn't as deep as probably what Wingrove would have wanted, but it was just deep enough. A good throw. It looked like it was going to be a good throw from Kennelly. It just when it hit, it jumped up. It wasn't the clean skip off the grass to the catcher, and kind of went up a little bit. Play at the plate. Dive from the catcher, just missed Hutchings as he came in. And it's another walk-off for the Adelaide Giants. They continue to win at home in dramatic fashion.
Well, we talked about the speed of Matt Hutchings, and we knew that it was going to come into play right there. And like you said, it just didn't have that skim through, as we can
the
see
replay,
here.
Gentlemen, have a look.
As it,
just a little bit up the line with the throw. Had to bring the catcher come back.
He's got that foot down.
Yeah,
it's got him on the back of the foot, but he's touched home plate. You can see that.
If it had got the front of him, that would have been before the foot hit the plate. It's one of those where I reckon 2 different fan bases, they'll be all up at the varsity bar having a really close look at the screen.
Yes.
But from our viewpoint, with a heavy dose of bias, you look at the touch and there's a foot on the base.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
your box score on the Bennett Field scoreboard. What a game to start the series. The Giants now have a 2-game break on the Heat. And I don't believe that if these 2 teams are locked at the end of the season, that the Heat can actually win any tiebreaker. Because it's 4-1 in the series, and the division record now, Adelaide have a far superior advantage. not too far from wrapping it up. Scotty, any last thoughts?
Well, as you say, the head-to-head is the key, and we talked about that, and that win there is vital. How do you get that guy out at home? Well, speed is a vital thing, and Adelaide Giants have got that this year. What a game.
A reminder, tomorrow, if you're in the vicinity, get to this ballpark, 4 p.m. and 7, 12 noon Sunday. If you can't get to the ballpark, Mixlr audio feed, the Talking Baseball Australia channel. And, of course, AdelaideGiants.com.au, the CFS Foundation, supporting local firefighters that have done so much in recent weeks and continue to do so. Any final thoughts, Rob Ashe?
I think this is what we're going to see all weekend. Game that went right till the bottom of the ninth. We saw runs early, and then kind of the pitchers took over. Once again, have to congratulate Dylan Underwood on his new record. Threw an amazing game tonight. Offense just wasn't there because the pitching staff on the Adelaide Giants wasn't just one guy. It was a team effort there. The bullpen got involved, and it went through 3 or 4 guys. But I think that's what we're going to see all weekend from both teams. There are 3 more real close games like this that's going to maybe decide who wins the Southwest.
Well, all I can say is that in years gone by, I'd be shocked, I'd be in awe. This is just your normal Adelaide Giants game, and who knows what they're going to do for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Hope you can catch us through the rest of the season. On behalf of Scott Pratt, the Soup Dog, Rob Ashe, looking for a 4-time appearance next time, and Phil Herden and the Friday Night Baseball crew, thank you so much. Final scores, Adelaide 3, Perth 2. Good night from Active Display Stadium.